A little bootleg startup.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, that's a job. Gotta start
Sometimes
somewhere.
really good.
Yeah.
I think it's really necessary.
No, to start off, it doesn't matter.
All right.
I think it's a good way to do it.
Hear ye,
actually,
hear
right
ye.
Right now, to start off, to test it out, see if it works. And then,
I
set
don't know who else is coming by.
I've already put my money right now, like on
to where
Yeah, I don't
you
know.
would be doing
on
something
Instagram,
smaller.
Facebook.
You find parking okay with the?
I always try to like get a parking closer to the door so I don't have to walk a lot.
My parking is far. I walked like 3-4 blocks.
Yeah. No, mine wasn't that bad. I parked
I can always jump from
um,
300 to 500 a month.
Yeah, for that you're
right by the building, but it just all the way on the other side. So I
Pictures
thought-
of each
Walk
of the
around,
social
yeah.
medias are different.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, so
Right,
like-
but see that's
Cool.
like
You guys ready to start?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
What that's supposed to be is like
Okay. We'll wrap up afterwards.
Cool. So, how's it going? When was the last time we
it
met?
got serious all of a sudden.
Yeah, right.
So like, what's up? It's been like
Like a
2
hearing or
months.
some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Speaker bellow, it has spoken.
It's been a while.
I don't know if anyone else is coming through, but
Well,
like,
first of all,
Yeah, it's been.
I want to say congrats on the podcast. I really enjoyed it.
thank you. Yeah,
Uh,
the one with
so-
Saphir.
If you
Yeah.
haven't had a chance to check it out, I pretend you didn't miss that. That shot to the trash can.
I hope not.
I'm
No.
recording a little bit now too, just to like see what kind of cool content we can get.
Yeah,
so.
we'll grab something, man. I just,
Oh, it's recording right now?
Yeah. So what's up?
pretty cool story.
I'm not even in there, but
I guess you never get
I
that
never
kind
do
of-
that kind of detail about him until we sat down and talked.
Yeah, I'm like, man, some serious shit. Like this.
I knew about the startup in college, but like I didn't know you were only at like your corporate job for 6 or 7 months.
Yeah.
and it's cool to hear about it all.
I'm gonna bring Alex over.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think I knew that much about myself.
Yeah, so for those of y'all that haven't had a chance, go check that out. It's on
So listen, wherever
Chris's
you download podcasts.
And what episode was it?
Come
It's
on,
the latest
bro.
one.
107 maybe, right?
I don't even know.
I think I just released
It's-
108.
It's the one in November. One
Yeah.
of the ones in November. So November
Check it out.
2019.
I'm trying to make this his most downloaded podcast.
Dude, you shared it. We shared it, and on YouTube it has like 102 views or something.
Nice.
Yeah.
It only got
How
like
does
1
that
like
hold
though,
up?
so go hit like.
That's my line too.
I'm like, I didn't
whenever
feel
you
like
put in
myself.
the names of the podcast, do you do any research on like what
Keywords.
keywords and stuff?
Like for
I
SEO.
need to. I
Yeah, 124, bro.
124 views.
Not bad.
Yeah, I need to because I've been looking at a couple other people too. There's another channel that my brother told me about a while ago, but I kind of just blew it off. It's called The Passionate View, and this kid has like interviewed Grant Cardone in person, Dan Law,
Go back
like
when you see the title that he has in yours.
some pretty big people, and he's got
Startup
stuff like
corporate.
from broke to 1.5 million in like
Feel
2
pretty good about
years,
this.
right?
Get those
Yeah.
titles that were catchy.
Those little clickbaity sounding, catchy titles, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say like for him, he should have been like
I asked him too.
the
I
man
was
that is
like-
changing the dry cleaning industry or something like that.
Yeah, I asked him. I was like, "Hey,
Or
what,
like make
does
I
this
it
couldn't
sound
think
good?"
of it.
sex
right?
box.
That's the hardest part is coming up with titles.
Yeah.
Another friend who has a podcast, we had like a little mastermind call just to see how we can grow our shows and like growth strategies that we've researched. And one of the things that we had taken down notes on was like, okay, for your podcast title, generate 10 ideas and then pick the best one. And I was like, that's hard to come up with 10
right.
different titles. It's like picking a domain name or business name,
Yeah.
you know? If you guys have done that activity, I've done it like 7 times.
I've done it way too many times.
Yeah, you've got tons of domains.
Yeah.
You know the challenges.
Yeah, I don't even know how many I have now. I just
Yeah, so thank you.
bought
But
them like
I
a
was
bunch of
thinking,
candy
like,
bars.
How to fuck up an industry. Or some shit. I was like,
how to put all mom and pops out of business.
Could you change the title?
Yeah, I could change the
Yeah.
title at any time.
All bullshit aside, like that, something that's just like just out there, freaking far left, might catch some attention.
yeah.
Something
You know,
crazy.
of course, you probably
yeah.
can't put the word "fucking" in it. You know, but maybe like
How to
you know,
shake.
and
Disrupting
Yeah.
the.
I like-
no,
yeah.
like you just gotta do it like FA. You know, with
Asterisk.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
all the
yeah,
symbols
dollar
on
sign,
it,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
like this is how you do it, and then introduce. I don't know. I'm just saying that would have been.
Yeah, and the thing is too, like I don't get too hung up on it right now. Like I think so many people get hung up on stuff that they're like waiting for 3 months. Meanwhile, I've already got like 12 episodes out. And think
Analysis
something's gonna hit, right?
paralysis kicks
Yeah,
in.
analysis paralysis, and people just say like keep putting. Gary Vee says it a lot. He's like just put out like 100 pieces of content a day, and the thing that helped me, that he said, is instead of worrying about creating, document. Documenting is easy. You just record it. You put a Snapchat video up, Instagram video. You don't have to edit it.
At it. Never thought about that.
Yeah, and you can you show the journey, and people can relate to that more than if you're like the guy with the Lambo already talking about how you've already made it, you know?
I was homeless for this 3 long.
Yeah, if you're talking about the journey and like, all right, guys, I don't know how I'm going to do this deal fell apart, this person backed out, you know, people like that. So I guess you guys want to, is your buddy here or no?
Oh yeah, he's in the restroom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is the door open or do you have to?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
cool.
left it open.
Yeah, so I guess, do you guys, it has been a while, and the crazy thing is, like, I couldn't make it to the last one, and then, like, no one came
When
at
was the
all.
last one? Like 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, but, like, no one came at all, and I was, like, I was hoping no one
Really?
really did. I'm assuming no one came, because, like, I didn't hear anything
Except for
about it on the
Farid.
group. Did you come?
No. I totally missed it.
Yeah, everybody, like, forgot, but,
Yeah, I think
might
the
not have been
last
on
one
my
it was
calendar.
like right around like when my dad was doing his surgery. So
actually, that was the day we did the podcast interview. Remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because I had to go to that meetup right after. Where's that podcast interview? Was on October 23rd. Dang, it's been a minute.
Wow.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago.
Hey, what's going
What's
on?
up?
How you guys doing?
How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah, so the last meetup was supposed to be 3 weeks ago, but then like no one showed. So before that, I guess it's been like a month and a half almost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. Like I know I haven't seen you guys in a while.
Yeah, I'm just like capturing some footage and audio just to see how it comes out.
Alright.
But yeah, I guess if you guys want to start off and just do like happy crappies, go around the room since it's been a while. Just what's everyone up to? Anyone want to start?
Oh yeah, I'll start. I've been thinking about this all day long.
That's
the only thing I've been thinking about.
It's like homework, bro. I gotta come prepared for class. The teacher's gonna ask me a question.
Happy is I started my first worksite case, which is something that I'm excited to learn from, and also I am planning a trip to Europe in May.
Sorry, one guy's like, can someone let me in? It's freezing. They're doing those guys. Where are you going in May?
Europe. So I'm gonna do 7 cities,
Awesome.
Nice.
and so I've been all about the happy right now. Crappy, I burned out real hard about a week and a half ago.
You did
and
what?
I burned out.
You burned out?
Yeah, I just couldn't take anymore. I was like,
I don't know if I've ever been through burnout or not. What does that feel like exactly? Where you're just like F it all?
I can't describe it. It's more so like your mind shuts down. Even if you force it to do something, it's just not gonna go. It's just not gonna.
I feel like it's different
Like
from
you hit
like
a wall.
each person.
Yeah, that could be it. For me, it's like that.
For some people, they're just like, fuck everything. Just
I'm getting
Yeah.
For some, I mean, yeah, it's just different from everybody.
Because I've gotten to a few points where I'm just like so frustrated. I've had the determination, I guess, and discipline so far, luckily, to never really shut down completely. I've always just worked through it. I think you mentioned it one time where you're like, sometimes there's those days where I just sit on the couch and I'm like, oh man, I didn't do anything today. I'm like, I never have a day like that.
That happens.
Just because I feel too guilty if I do. And then some days I do have the days where I'm like, I push through and it sucks and I feel like I got nothing done. But at least I tried my best, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
No, see that's the best way you can do it. But when you try your best and results aren't
That's even worse.
That's when that's when your body is like, oh man, do I really want to keep going?
It's like, do you ever try your best and you actually fuck up? You're like, oh. I'm just not that.
So what did you do? You just took some time to yourself and.
Well, I mean, I worked real hard for a very long time, and I think that I did it in a way, and I neglected a lot of the little things, and so now I'm taking the time off. I'm kind of set for the rest of the year, so
cool.
My rent is paid, and I have minimal income coming in, so that should hold me up, or that will hold me up, and in this time, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to be studying for finance exams. I'm going to be paying attention to the little things that I neglected.
Yeah.
And just come out stronger.
Would you say some of that is you time you neglected?
Yeah, a lot of it, to be honest. Because I work, and then when I first started, they were talking about how you want to join affinity groups, which is a gathering where people just meet up, and something like this. But I joined 2 volunteer practices, one at a yoga studio and one at a religious place, both
Cool.
on Friday and Saturday. At that time, I was ready to take it on, bring it on, come on. And then time went on.
Became too much to juggle.
Yeah. Way too much.
spread himself too thin.
Yeah. Something we probably all do at some point.
Yeah.
So that's your happy crappy. Cool. You want to go around the way this way?
We can do that.
How about you?
I'll start with happy. So me and I don't know if Farheed mentioned it. Me, Farheed, and another guy, Reagan. I tried to get him up here, but he had work at like 7.
Oh, no worries.
So we started a company. It's like an environmental kind of company. You know, it is a wide ranging company.
I think I've seen you post about a few environmental things lately, so
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Mhm. And what we're doing just to start out is we're just picking up trash. You know,
That's cool.
We'll go to a beach. We'll just do a beach cleanup. We'll go, by the side of the road, wherever we, see people are, just throwing this trash out, all this plastic.
Yeah.
It's gonna end up in a landfill. We should go clean it up. And our goal
What's up?
is
What's
to
up?
buy.
What's going on, guys?
How's it going?
What's going on? Nice to see you. Man. Nice to see you. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
You're not filming this?
Yeah, I'm filming.
What's going on? Nice to see you, man. Pleasure.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
That's
Come on. What's going
What's
on?
going on, Chief? What's your name? Yeah, that's
It's
right.
all right.
Down this way.
Nice to see you.
Great to see you. Yeah.
It's Mike Sidney.
I'm gonna plug this
No,
thing
it's
in.
Sophia, it's okay.
Oh,
So, homie?
You have to redo that one.
Cool. Yeah.
That's good.
Somebody sit down.
Busy season coming up.
It's your spot.
Thank you.
I was holding it for you.
I'm just glad I got the
Nice
house.
and warm,
Huh?
huh?
I'm just glad I got the house.
Yeah?
I thought I would get
That's a
warm
big
by
plus.
now, man. I'm still
It's cold out there.
Yeah. It's like,
Oh yeah.
need to eat more.
Yeah, you'll
Everything's
grab some
good.
chairs.
Man. It's good. It is.
Because I'm kind of like
Yeah,
blocking.
it's
Must
good.
be real good.
It's really good. Yeah. Just keep working and pushing away.
So what's going on?
So that was a happy. We're doing happy crappies.
Yeah, we're doing a little happy crappy.
Oh, right now?
Right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
it was his turn. But
Oh, yeah. I'm
No
gonna
worries, no worries. I was just mentioning me, Farheed, another guy, starting up an environmental kind of company. We're going around picking up trash at beaches, side of the road, wherever we see it, and we're using that to make content, social media.
I just texted you.
We're trying to build like a huge following, like minimum 50 to 100,000, and then once
Can y'all do that for me too?
yeah, that'd be really nice.
I'll try to figure it out.
But it's just so big right now. Like 10 years ago, it used to be like no one's interested in
In environment,
things.
yeah.
It was that one tree hugger friend you have, but now it's just everybody. Everybody's conscious of it, and so it's really easy to get a huge following by doing things like that. And so that's our goal. And then by having that following, Farheed's making the website where we can go and host these companies. Yeah, the website guy. But we're going to host these companies that sell, these environmental products. Say something like bamboo toothbrushes. I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah.
I was talking to my sister who was an environmental major at Ohio State, and she was like, "Oh, I love my bamboo toothbrushes." So I was like, "Wow, people buy those." Wow.
My dentist recommended the Sonicare one, so.
Sonicare bamboo.
yeah.
But so there's just so many environmental products, and there's it's actually kind of tough to find these. Like it's tough to find a source that's just specifically these products, and so that's what we're gonna be. We're gonna have
marketplace.
we're gonna be a marketplace for these products,
Yeah.
and that's just one income stream, and there's just a million things you can pair environmentalism with. And so we're just going to take advantage of all kinds of income streams. Just like you can pair food with any kind of, thing, and you'll, make money like that. So we're going to be in lots of different, getting our hands dirty in lots of different, aspects of the industry. And so I'm happy about starting that. It's a lot more fun than what I'm currently involved with, which is pressure washing. Yeah, the pressure washing company. It's a lot, it's more interesting to me, I'm more involved with it, but the crappy part about it is, it's going to be a long time before this business can actually make solid profit. It's going to be a decent amount of time. So right now, me, Farheed, the other guys' efforts are just here, and they're worth $0 so far. They potentially could be worth a lot of money,
Yeah.
but
That's
the
how I
crappy
feel
side,
after
yeah.
2 years of podcasting for free, basically, every week.
Yeah.
It's tough. I think I heard some motivational video with Andy Frisella recently,
Mhm.
and he's like, at first you're like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and then you're like, shit, this is kind of hard.
Yeah.
And I thought about that even when we were talking about like the Indiegogo campaign.
Yeah.
Like that's how I was when I did my Kickstarter campaign. I was all excited,
Mhm.
and then like after you get failure after failure, it's hard to maintain that enthusiasm.
Yeah.
So being able to do that and stick it out for the long run, I think that's
Yeah.
where
For me,
champions are made. Right?
My campaign still has 4 days left, so maybe
There's still hope.
maybe I
Yeah.
might make 100 million in the next 4 days.
Yeah.
You never know. You really don't.
For me, I found that if you're in a small business and you're starting it up, the best way to stay motivated in it is to just profit as soon as you can, because
Yeah.
you can be so involved with your work, so invested in it, but if you don't see that like $1 come in that's a positive, it's tough to be motivated to get that done.
Well, I'll add to that. I mean, because you don't really make $1 if you're not making someone's life easier. And you're an expert at that because you're a pressure washer. So
Yeah,
you're
right.
thinking about doing environmental products, and then you're pressure washing people's houses. This, a lot of value. I'll pay you several $100s to go pressure wash my house. I need you to.
Mhm.
I don't know if I need to go buy an organic toothbrush. So with that being said, I think you really need to focus on what you just said, which is make $1. But how do you make $1? By making people's lives way easier. That means
Yeah.
pressure washing their house. That means selling their house. That means marketing their company. Like, you gotta do something that they're like, I need this.
Yeah.
Because if it's just like a nice to have, it's like.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing about the environmental thing. Like right now, there's so many options. We've had probably like 10 income streams, kind of ideas on where we could make money, now instead of this long-term kind of thing we're looking to do.
Mhm.
So like one for example is you take the plastic you get, you could melt it down, make products with that. You create a community, a brand name, and you sell apparel from that. You take donations because people are looking to help like make the world a better place. So there's that's just a few income streams, and you could market that to so many different kinds of people. So that's what we're looking into, like which one would be the most efficient in making money now,
Yeah.
and therefore building our business to cover all these kinds of income streams
Right.
later.
Because it's definitely like to focus on one or two main ones first,
Mhm.
and then branch out to other ones. That would definitely be probably ideal instead of trying to like dip your
Yeah.
toe into all of them at once. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
You guys would probably benefit from taking weekend trips to Austin if you're wanting to do.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, no
environmental
doubt.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get some inspiration and
Yeah.
stuff.
yeah. Yeah. My sister's big into like the environment thing. She was like big part of a whole bunch of environmental groups of Ohio State. So I was talking to her and just like bouncing ideas off of her. She's telling me about one company, for example, in Columbus. What they did is they went and marketed to big businesses that wanted to throw these like massive events, and what they said was just like, hey, all these businesses want to go green. If we can make this event green for you, like that's worth its weight in gold. PR is worth its weight in gold, so they would pay big money just to be able to say like,
It was a green
this
event.
event we're throwing is a green
Yeah.
event, and so by hosting those,
Cool.
you can make a lot of money.
I just really like your attitude, man. Your pressure washer was houses, you're picking
Yeah.
up trash, and I'm just gonna add like a good story just to put like light in the tunnel. I've got a friend, John Claybrook, he was president in your year, right, A&M?
Mm-hmm.
He's making a little bit of cash, and all he does is like he picks up trash at like apartment buildings.
Oh yeah.
That's all he does, and I think he's got like Dallas, Austin covered, and
Oh really?
it's working out for him. So
That's awesome.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
trash is a big
Yeah, I mean, if you're going pressure washing,
Waste
just be like, hey, you got some junk in here that you want me to take out?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Man, when I was young, I think like my first job, when I was I know it was younger than maybe 12 years old. I used to walk around in the apartments and door to door with my friend. We would
Mhm.
knock and ask people if we can take out their trash. And then we would sometimes get paid like $1
Yeah.
per trip. There was one guy always open the door with this like a tank top sagging real hard. Always on the phone, like, and this big necklace and everything. Straight up looked like a gangster. I didn't even know what a gangster was at that time. But he would have like this wad of change. We just pull out.
Give you
We
the
just-
change.
There you go. Here, I have
Mhm.
one little plastic piece of paper, and I need to throw out. But
Well-
you'll find people that are going to give you a chance.
Yeah. It's we're looking to like build a community with it, and that's another part that I just didn't mention. That brand we're trying to build. If we can get that social media following and influence other people, to just go to these public areas, pick up trash wherever they can, take these pictures, they can send them to us, and then that's just free content, and then, by doing that, we're not just, Houston based, we can do it all over the world. So that's what we're looking to do, as far as like building a brand for ourselves. And then, every, like all these income streams are much easier to cover once you have a name, recognition, all that kind of thing.
For sure.
Mhm.
Awesome.
100%.
Happy crappies.
Happy Crappies. I'm gonna try to tie it into a little bit of what he was talking about. So sustainability is definitely something that I'm increasingly becoming more knowledgeable about. I think every company on the planet is trying to find a way to be green in any fashion, but one of the things that we're doing is we're happy that it's like the holiday season, but it's affecting us already because companies are trying to close out their books. So they're not trying to invest or like start any new programs right now.
Until the next year.
So man, the crappy. Damn, I know I got one somewhere. I'll start with what I'm happy about and then think about the crappy. So what I'm happy about is I had a meeting with HEB. This was probably about 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
That's hard to get, man.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So basically, I had this, it's all a game of relationships, right? Like if people really like you, they'll work with you. But I met the founders of Frenchie's Chicken. He's actually the son, the father passed away. And we had a conversation for like an hour. He gave me his personal number, like, hey, stay in touch. And usually when people do that, you don't know if they're serious or not, right? Like, but I've mastered the art of like following up. Like most people don't follow up after a job interview, and they killed the job interview, but they don't follow up. So I always follow up. I followed up with him, and I was like, hey, this is where we currently are. This is what we've done. He was like, hey, getting into restaurants is going to be a process. And he was like, this is crazy, but he's reached a point of success where making, a couple $1,000s is not enough. So anything that he would probably feed into the funnel for us is all about how can I give you something that's going to replicate like 30 times, 40 times, something big. But for me, it's like, hey, I'll take the 1 or 2, right? Because we're getting started. But for him, he's thinking differently. But ultimately, that relationship led to an introduction at HEB. And HEB, ultimately, they're looking for a different way to do pharmacy pickup. So we talk about sustainability. Like, people pick up prescriptions through the drive-thru. And oftentimes, if you do research on it, you'll find out, like, people expect the drive-thru at a pharmacy to be fast and efficient, like picking up some fries from McDonald's. Yeah. And it's not the case because these pharmacists, these techs, they got to fill it, but they got to be 100% accurate, right? Yeah. They can't mess up on how many they give you, nor can they mess up on what they give you. They can't really rush too much. But I was pitching to them about, like, how our, like, repurposed lockers could help increase in-store purchases, but also help with in-store pickup of prescriptions. So right now that's on the table. I'm happy about it because what I'm realizing is at this point nothing can be a loss because whatever preparation goes into landing those big meetings, there's a smaller fish that wants to eat too that could benefit from all the information and that studying you did to try to land that meeting. So what I'm doing now is I'm saying like, yo, I figured this shit out for HEB. What other pharmacies exist that are small, but they got to innovate too, right? The drug business is humongous. We all know that. So I'm looking at smaller like pharmacies in the city of Houston. If you guys know any owners, I'm a genuine guy. Let's do business.
So how was the pitch to HEB? Like, what was your pitch to them?
So for the most part, it was like
Master of retail again.
Yeah. The goal for HEB is obviously to make more money, but they want to do it in a fashion where their customers benefit the most.
All of the customer.
100%. So, they have curbside pickup. They had in-store lockers for groceries for some time now. And they're doing all kind of ways to speed up tech. But our goal is to pretty much sell them on speed, efficiency, and consistency, right? So people want things as fast as possible. They want the speed, but they also want it as consistent as possible. So we're thinking if we can drive people inside of the store to maybe grab anything in the pharmacy, bandages, icy hot, and whatever prescription that they got, we can actually increase sales, but also make that customer happy. And what we've learned is there's so many refills. So as a customer like you, Rob, you want to go and you want to pick up your prescription, but you don't want to sit in line. It's a lady that's in front of you that's thirsty for a conversation. She's a 55-year-old grandma. She hasn't talked to anyone all day. And she just wants to talk. You just want to pick up.
Yeah.
So they have the pickup window, but oftentimes because of the influx of all these orders, they have to take that person that's occupying that pickup window and have them fill prescriptions, right? So we're like, forget the pickup window.
Yeah.
Forget having that person just occupy in the back. How about they fill what we're calling a doc box, fill it, have you come in, pick up your order, and that lady that's thirsty for a conversation, she can talk all day, right? But it doesn't bother you as another customer. So yeah, that's the happy. The crappy is just pretty much, this is my first time being in a position where we have everything working like we want, and I'm going through the holiday season and I don't really understand how to approach it. Because I still want to be able to land sales, I still want to get out there. So it forced me to think about just approaching the market differently altogether. So we're gonna, instead of trying to land sales, I'm gonna start giving shit away for free.
Yes,
right?
you have to, yeah.
Right, so I'm thinking about doing a 45-day pilot program, right? Where it doesn't matter restaurants, it doesn't matter a co-working space for the Happy Box, it doesn't matter what it is. But in those 45 days, those people become my best friend. And then we ultimately land that sale versus trying to sell. Because it's still even in the restaurant space, they want to innovate because Grubhub, Uber, DoorDash is killing their margins. Only the big guys are really winning from that. Like McDonald's is still able to get profit, but the smaller companies, they're not.
They hate it.
Yeah, they hate it big time. So
yeah,
because they gotta pay the drivers.
Well, yeah, because they're getting ripped off 30%. Let's say they're selling a burger for $10.
Yeah.
They gotta sell it to Grubhub for $7. Yeah. And then the customer, instead of paying $10, the customer's paying $15. That way Grubhub can make a margin in it. Yeah.
The second one.
Yeah, it's pretty high. So
they gotta make money on both ends, from the buyer and the seller.
Yeah, it's crazy. Your typical order would be $20, right? If it's Uber Eats, more than likely, if you didn't negotiate really good, you'll be paying a 30% fee. So the restaurant end up paying $6 in fees, and they'll end up with $13. The problem with that is you can never properly staff. Because let's say your Uber is booming, you're getting crazy sales on Wednesday, and then you're Thursday is gonna be the same. Let's get 10 people in the kitchen, and Thursday, nobody comes, nobody orders. Now you got 10 extra people. So with us, with the Yummy Boxes, we can create a consistent flow. If you have 20 people picking up, cool, we can hold it. If you have 5, cool. We can balance the books a little bit better. But yeah, that's my thing. I don't know how to approach this shit when it comes to holiday stuff. I'm just trying to. I'm getting kind of stir crazy because.
Yeah, it's tough too.
Yeah,
I worked in corporate.
Shit I want to.
I'll tell you something about this because I'm dealing with the same thing with my business.
Okay.
Holidays and the end of the year, everybody's slowing down, getting ready for vacations, Thanksgiving, all that bullshit. Built for next year.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So market yourself as I'm the new opportunity for you to make next year better. This way and this way and this way.
I like the way you worded that. Yeah.
I can work for you while you're on vacation.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're happy and you're crappy.
That's my happy and crappy.
All right.
Happy. Starting to become a little more focused after a conversation with this guy about Amazon, and decided to kind of pivot a little bit and just do more of an expansion on organizational products instead, and have that company. So that's what I started doing with my Squirrel Pad, and I got the Squirrel Notebook now coming up, and then we got some other products that we're thinking about too. And then that way I can concentrate on that instead and just let Amazon be the side thing where we just have that as an extra sales channel instead. So I appreciate the conversations. Thank you. And I can't really say there's much crappy right now other than the fact I'm just kind of in that building zone, I guess, for that business. And then started looking at commercial real estate investment. So learning that, and coincidentally one of my neighbors just happened to be walking when I'm doing my 75 hard outside walk, and he happened to be a big time commercial real estate investor. So today I took a day off of work and went to his real estate meeting with all commercial real estate investors, and I was like, holy fuck, the 75 hard just fucking did that, and I was like, no, that's pretty awesome. So the crappy part of that about that is that I can't make a move on commercial yet since it's a different level. So this is my, I wouldn't say anxiety, but just kind of like you kind of feel like stir crazy a little bit, just you want to jump on that. So I kind of started holding my funds a little more, and then we'll see what happens.
All right, happy crappy. Well, happy is I feel like I'm getting more efficient. I'm getting more things done. I got the website for the social green done. I got my marketing website done. I sent it to you. I'll send it later, and I actually got my first Deal Striker customer.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and it's like a big Nissan dealership. Reliance used to be Ron Carter Nissan,
Okay.
so we actually signed them up. And the guy was really chill. We talked about Supras and for like an hour. We were just talking, and then yeah, that was good. And like I got like a good hype for the week. But like the crappy is, it sucked after that because I couldn't like sign up anybody at all. Because like I would go to these dealerships and AutoNation at Toyota actually like wanted to talk to me, and every time I would go, he's either out or he's just like busy or like he's like just not there. I feel like he doesn't even work, he just has a title.
I'd see if you could like schedule it. I always send people a calendar invite, like Google
Yeah.
Calendar, so that it'd be like, hey, did you get the invite? And once they hit yes, it'll send them a notification or it'll be on their calendar.
Yeah.
And then check in with them. I'm learning this more in real estate too, because people are flaky as hell, especially like internet leads, right?
Yeah.
Internet leads that don't know
Those
you.
guys are assholes, though.
They're
They don't
very
care
flaky.
about that. They're gonna.
That's true.
Fuck off.
But like even with like internet leads, I had some like girl who called me and she's like getting divorced, but she wants to buy a house like by herself.
Yeah.
And I called her on Saturday night, and she was like, actually, I'm not gonna buy a house right now. I'm like, okay, and I kind of let her just say that, shut me down, and I hung up, and then I called her back 5 minutes later and I was like, hey, like what if we just talk about what your situation is and like how we can help. And I got her to come in on Monday. So like before she came in on Monday, I called her that morning and was like, hey, we still good? You know where to park? Like, here's a picture. And she came in and we met with her. And I don't know if she'll even qualify for a house because she's like, she's in a very rough situation right now. But yeah.
Maybe she'll remember that. Maybe she
Exactly.
somebody else.
And even referrals, or like if I can help her
Fully
find an
paid for.
apartment now and she'll buy a house in a year, like, okay, that's cool.
At least you weren't the asshole who just gave up on you.
Yeah, so try to
Or
get
the other
them.
guy probably.
Yeah, try to get them to
Right.
commit. That's my advice. It's
Yeah.
what's been working for me is to get them to commit and then confirm.
Yeah, that's
before
what
you
I'm
do the
trying to
meeting.
do. It's just like, but I look at myself. I'm like, okay, I'm talking to the general manager of AutoNation, and I am one dude in a Toyota Camry, fresh startup.
Park
And, like,
far away.
Yeah.
Parking in the service department by itself. It's like it's getting an oil change done. or
Like
something.
every time I like pull up to a dealership, they're like, "Oh, sir, are you ready for a new car?" I'm like, "Oh,
No,
no,
not yet.
I wish."
Yeah.
So that was you're happy and you're crappy too.
Yeah, it's just really difficult to sell to dealerships. Like there's this Nissan on I think it's like Exit 22 or something. That Nissan, those guys fucking suck. Like I walked in there and the guy, he didn't even. I was like,
On
"Hello,
iTunes
sir,
to
I'm far."
the-
No, not 45.
45.
Okay.
Yeah,
45 south.
Yeah, and like I walked in there, I'm like,
They
"Hey,
send
I'm
them that clip.
co-founder of a startup." He's like, "We're not interested." I'm like, "Okay,"
Oh, you get
and I'm like, "Hey, I think it will help you guys out." He was like, "I don't care, I don't want it." I'm like, "All right, okay, have a good
Well, you
day."
gotta remember-
Funny, salesman shutting down salesmen. Right?
Yeah.
Well, it's not that. A lot of those places, they get hit with all kinds of shit on daily basis. Like, he's probably the 5th or 6th person to walk in there that day.
Yeah.
So once you're like getting that constant, and for you, if you take like 20 minutes or 30 minutes for every guy, and you got 10 people that came in, that's 5 hours over there.
Yeah.
You know, and 5 hours, and you don't even know like. So that's why I was telling him like try to get something established first,
Yeah.
and then go to them, because at this
show
point
them.
I'm not just the dude rolling up in a Camry. I got results.
Yeah.
If you don't want this results, I'll go to the guy next door. He's gonna want those results.
Yeah.
And that's what I do with some of my clients too. Like, oh no, we're not. I was like, it's okay. And I know they're competitors in the same area. We're like, okay, I'll just take it to this place chiropractor. But this place chiropractor, they want it over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I might start doing that. I'm
I'm
like,
just-
well, the other Nissan's got it going, so you
Well,
know.
no, not the other Nissans. His competitor next to him is more competition than the other Nissan.
Yeah. Ford.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Interesting.
Did you go to Sewell yet?
No,
Which Sewell?
the Mercedes guy.
Sewell Cadillac or Sewell?
Cadillac, all the ones up.
No,
45
I was gonna ask you, but I never like got the
I
chance.
Oh, I don't
Like,
like
if you could like text me his contact, I'll like
Yeah,
go there
I
like
got you.
literally tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
Wait,
Um,
is that the dude we bet? Who? Oh, we met some guy who worked at the Mercedes, I think.
The
I don't know if it was
Mercedes
Sewell.
store, I think Sunny.
Yeah.
Sunny, yeah.
Yeah. But I think he worked at
He worked
the
at
one on
Sewell
59
before,
over
maybe?
here.
By Greenway.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was
Oh
a
yeah.
good
He
one.
was.
He's
He's
a
a
sales
Greenway
guy.
Mercedes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't like my pitch too much. He's like, here's my card. Talk to you later. I'm like, okay.
All right.
All right.
So for me, I'd say happy is I'm starting to really dial in like the follow-up game, kind of like Dom said. I'm getting really good at like meeting someone, to getting them to like me, to like get them to sign, to look for houses with me. For example, when we did our podcast interview the other day, I couldn't come to the mastermind meeting that no one ended up showing up to anyway, because I was talking at a Bigger Pockets, which is a real estate investment meetup. Like, I was the guy sitting where Dom is, and there was a room of like 20 people listening to me. So I was positioned as the expert talking about real estate investments and like my experience with the company I worked with. And I showed them everything. Like, I told them everything that I learned in the year that I was there, how to find deals, how to evaluate them, what's a good deal, what's a bad deal, things to stay away from, like good contractors to consider. And I know there were some older people there, like 50 or something, and they were like kind of skeptical at first. And I told them, I addressed the elephant in the room. And I was like, look, I know I look younger than I am. I'm actually 29. Went to A&M, I've got my degree, quit the corporate job. I told them the whole story, filed a patent, ran out of money, got into real estate. And so everyone appreciated that. And then out of that meeting, from two months in a row going to that meeting, I found an investor who's like a hot, motivated buyer, like has $500,000, wants to buy 5 houses. We already closed on one, so I made like $4,000 on that sale. Met another investor who, this came through Instagram. He's like, hey, Chris, I was at your Bigger Pockets meetup you were speaking at. I really appreciate the value you added. Wanted to know if you wanted to represent me. I want to buy a house. I'm like, yeah. We looked at houses on Saturday, made an offer like 2 days ago, and now I'm just waiting to hear back from the agent. So it's like I'm getting better. That's my happy, is that I'm starting to learn how to not awkwardly like get people to work with me.
Learn how to dial yourself in.
Yeah, how to dial myself in instead of like the cold calling and stuff that the agents recommend, or like call my friends like, hey, do you know any friends or family own? Like, no one. I mean, it might work, but like it's just weird, right?
Yeah.
And then I'd say crappy at this point would be still remaining focused. I know that's like a challenge for all of us, right? Like there's days where I wake up and I'm not really motivated. I still get my butt moving. Like I'll go to the gym and just leave the house to get started at like 8 a.m. But sometimes I'm like, what do I focus on? Do I follow up with the leads I met at the event yesterday? Do I don't know, like make some calls, call some leads, like internet leads that have come in? Because there are those days where you're like, man, I don't think I got any leads today. I don't think I made any moves. But
one point on that is I met a guy and he told me that successful people plan out their next day
the night before. Yeah, and I'll do that. Like I'll have those goals, but even like you're probably in a similar situation, I guess. Like our roles as commission-based jobs, it's like, okay, obviously I need to lead generate for an hour, like make follow-up calls with previous or current clients. But scheduling that, is it the same every day? Is it different? And then what if I don't want to do something, right? That's the hardest part, is like, okay, I'm sitting at home alone. I'll go to Starbucks and I'll be like, okay, let me just make some calls. Thanks for that tip. I'm definitely working through it. It's just trying to dial in my daily routine and ritual and make it like, okay, workout, then 1 hour lead generation. Like I need to come up with something instead of like, let me push that to 3 o'clock and I'm just going to go to the gym at noon today.
See, that's the thing. So we try, like we're creatures of habit. We want that set schedule.
Yeah.
Like in the lines
Some kind of consistency.
We have to work with the client and their schedule.
Yeah.
And so our schedule kind of gets mixed up all the time. So we really don't know what we're going to be doing until we've actually reached a point where it's kind of like we're sailing.
Right.
And before that, man, you're just running around. It feels like you're a squirrel in your mind.
For example, I'm showing someone homes on Friday at 9 a.m. because like that's when her schedule permits, and usually I'd be at the gym at that time. So I'm kind of like, either I can go earlier or later, but it's still going to be, and it's in Katy. So I got to like drive all the way up to Katy and be there at 9 to show like 8 houses.
Have you thought about waking up earlier?
I have.
For me, that's been fucking essential, because like when I said earlier about now being a little more focused, like now my wake up time is 5 a.m.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I think you did wake up at 5.
And you are too? Oh,
I got
admire
one.
you.
Yeah,
From
I admire you too, but that's
No.
about
I'm trying to
it.
be in bed like that.
Dude, I got a guy that I know, and he's always gives me shit. He's like, dude, you should be up by now. Like, I'll be like, early grind, and it's like 6:30. He's like, I already finished my workout, bro. And I'm like,
No, I mean, that-
okay,
I mean,
Mr.
that
CrossFit.
really works,
Like,
Y'all wild.
it does.
Talking
Yeah.
about
Y'all
what you
wild.
said, if like you
Y'all
I gotta
wild.
sleep at 6. What you mean?
You're a night
if you
owl.
plan out the day before, I mean, I'm a big believer in that. And
Yeah.
then on top of that, if maybe you might need to change your routine. Maybe you need to.
That's true. I mean,
take
I've
look
changed
at
it
your
a few
routine.
times.
Yeah, and or make them easier. There's nothing wrong with having an easier routine because lately I've noticed that's what's working. If it's a little easier and I go through them, I feel
Yeah.
like I accomplished that and that kind of gives you a little more energy. But all bullshit aside, the earlier waking up might be a good thing too. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I guess my biggest.
So that you won't get thrown off, you know?
My biggest thing with that, like what I told my friend was like, okay, well, I already go to bed at 10, and my girlfriend, she's not on the meditation self-help train, so she stays up till midnight. So like by the time I see her, if I'm going to bed at 9 to wake up at 5, because I want to get my 7 or 8 hours of sleep, because I listen to, impact theory and health theory, and like I want to get enough sleep so that I'm not foggy. So I don't want to go to sleep too early to get those 8 hours of sleep where I'm waking up early, and then I don't get to see my girlfriend much at all. So that was like my main thing. And even now I'm going to bed at 10:30, and she's like up till midnight watching TV or whatever. So I like already am like, okay, well, good night. I guess I'm gonna go to bed. So that's been kind of like distancing us a little bit already. So that's been like my main thing with
Sleep
waking
faster.
up early. Yeah.
Or just have her drunk by 10:30. There you go.
I have friends who are like, oh, I wake up at 5 and I go to bed at this time.
What time do you wake up?
I'm up at 6:15, 6:30.
It's pretty early.
And like I've got friends who are like, dude, like I'm impressed because I don't have a job. Like I force myself to wake up like that. I had a friend in Singapore, and we were doing a call because he was like wanting to invest in real estate here once he's back, and he's like, oh, it's like 6:30, 7 over there. Like, damn, you're up. Like I that's like takes self-discipline, I guess, to do that, right? But yeah, anyway, that's a long happy crappy happy. I think I'm killing it on real estate follow-up, and then crappy trying to get my daily ritual and schedule dialed in, because no one's here to tell me right what's working, what's not. It's kind of like up in the air. But
That's awesome.
yeah, cool, thanks.
I knew about those 2 sales that follow you. It makes me so happy. that
Yeah,
you
thanks,
see you doing
man.
That stuff, man.
That's awesome. I mean, and I just document everything too, so
Yeah.
hopefully somebody gets inspired from what I post about.
Yeah, I think it's great. I want to say 2 things when you were talking. One, you already know this clearly, but dude, the medicine, the prescription medicine thing is big. I was just talking to a buddy of mine from school. He's a product manager at Uber.
Okay.
His new job for last year has been like to do that. So they're doing a big push for like delivering
Yeah.
Uber?
like your
Wow.
medicine.
Yeah.
So that's like, and they're
Damn.
partnering up with some of the biggest hospital. It's like
Definitely.
$1 billion thing for them, which is
Yeah.
amazing. So good
No,
for
it's
you.
good. I
That's
think
smart.
Amazon last year they bought a company called PillPack.
PillPack is sort of
Yeah.
the first trailblazer in
Yeah.
that space.
So it's gonna be big. Anything, but the prices are still pretty high for
Yeah.
delivery.
Yeah.
So that's why
Yeah.
they were like, man, could we drive more in-store pickup?
Because that's what they need. HEB ultimately, the
It's
whole
a
reason why they
grocery
put a bank in there, the reason why they put a pharmacy in
So
there,
people can
Yeah.
walk in
is so
there.
people can walk in there. Because where they make money is in the aisles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But delivery's coming. We can't sleep on it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a part of the world we're about to be living in.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Sure.
And then something else, the free thing. I was just talking to a buddy of mine who runs a company called Homebase, and we both agreed. Well, not for, I don't think for me, but for him and for you too, because y'all are subscription-based businesses.
Yeah.
He gives away his software, gives away for free, and
Okay.
it's like his best marketing because he doesn't make any money, but he's getting like the data that like, especially for you, because if you onboard HEB, bro, like that's a huge account. You know, you give them a month for free or whatever you do, like they got I don't know how many stores in Texas, $1 billion company, and once you're
That'd be
onboarded,
probably your biggest account
Yeah.
to date.
That would be a huge one to land.
it's huge.
Yeah, it changes everything.
They got 65 stores in Houston alone.
Bro,
Jeez.
it's incredible. And then
Wait,
they're,
is
they're in
Houston?
Mexico as well,
Yeah.
which I didn't know.
They're in
until-
Mexico?
Yes.
Yeah, they're in Mexico.
Yeah.
They're not in any other state, but they are in Mexico.
That's
yeah. Well, it's because all the
Mexico's a
produce.
state.
Yeah, the produce.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
I was about to say, Mexico's down the
Texas is like
street.
the second Mexico.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mexico's 4 hours. To get out of Texas is 12 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
It's crazy.
You talking about the valley or you talking about Mexico? Like,
Yeah. Wait, y'all didn't do your happy crappies yet, right?
No, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it was him and then me and
Yeah.
Saphir. Yeah.
So happy crappy.
Appreciate the insight though.
Yeah, for sure. happy. It's like holiday season, so we're feeling it early on. I guess everyone started putting up their Christmas lights early, so people started shopping early. So that's great for us.
Yeah.
We ran out of some stock, which I guess is more of a crappy, but it's a good thing because I didn't think we were gonna sell all that so soon till December. Crappy. Actually, HEB rejected me, and so I'm getting quite a few rejections from retailers. And the reason for that is we're getting closer to, and they're busy, it's holiday.
Yeah.
So they're not really, they're thinking more about what is their product assortment going to look like for Black Friday and for the holidays. And they're not really excited about onboarding new retailers in their stores. And so it's so bad to the point where I'm thinking that unless it's like a really warm lead where someone knows somebody at HEB who wouldn't mind making an introduction. Like for example, we're still talking to Kohl's because we know someone there. We're talking to Academy, but some of these bigger accounts we're just gonna stay away from until basically what they came back and said is come back to us in Q1. We'll think about it.
Okay.
So that's
not
kind
too
of
far away.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
2 months is like flies by these days.
It does fly by. It does
Well,
fly
especially
by.
these 2 months, like this month and a half that is coming up.
Yeah.
That's their bread and butter.
Yeah,
That's
50%
true.
of
Like if
revenue
you could have
back.
been there now, you could be on the Black Friday
That's-
shelf. So like
But I
you'll be
mean-
there next year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what kills me.
But then, like,
Yeah.
it gives him a good advantage because all the stuff that he's gonna go through right now, like all the sales and the numbers that he could prove now, he could go in Q1 with that and be like, just kind of like lay it all down in front of them, and that's
Yeah.
like his golden ticket. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I know who I am. I know what I've been like value to the table. If you guys bring me in, this is what you could expect type deal.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotta take you some of these meetings.
I mean that's like your job is like
Yeah.
marketing and like SEO and generating leads and stuff, right?
That's it.
You do SEO too?
Huh?
You do SEO too?
Yeah, remember we were talking about that.
He's like, I need someone.
What's your happy crappy?
Yeah, we need.
Next
huh?
Tuesday.
My
What's your
turn?
happy crappy?
Oh, okay. So my happy. My dad did his surgery. He had a bad rotator cuff. So he's out for a little bit, and that's the crappy part. But I mean, I'm happy,
that it's
yeah,
done.
it went well, and that he's doing good and stuff. After he actually started physical therapy today.
Okay.
So
Tell him,
huh?
keep at it, man. Physical therapy does wonders.
Yeah. Especially for him because his right arm is everything really. So that's the happy part. The crappy is kind of like what I was showing Don that towards this time of the year, like things slow down. Like a lot of businesses are not trying to get into anything new. They're just trying to like close out their books and kind of like coast. Yeah.
I know.
Trying to not make
I did it in
Yeah.
corporate.
But I actually turned that around pretty good, and last week had 7 closes, something like that. Just new clients, doing lead gen and stuff for them, and planning out stuff for Q1 and stuff. That way they go into the year a lot more prepared and whatnot. So
Nice.
yeah. And I saw Saphir was at a marketing thing over here. Like somebody came and talked about marketing. So I was like, dude, I need to come up there and like do something like that. He was like, yeah. Let's sit down and
I got you.
yeah.
Get the hook
He
up.
said that person was not that good. So
He's a fucking waste of time.
yeah. So I think I could do a little bit better.
Huh? Why?
Someone just pulled some slides off of Google.
Yeah.
It's like that marketing class you were talking about on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're talking about internet or like TV ads and billboards.
Professor
Yeah.
talking about TV ads.
And he's doing Facebook ads in class.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it was stupid, bro. It was just basic shit. I thought about getting up and leaving like 3 or 4 times throughout the process, but I didn't want to be rude.
Yeah.
So what's your happy crappies? Crappy going to that thing?
Man, honestly, probably. Crappy. Man, I don't know, man. I'm grateful as fuck. I've had a good week, good couple weeks. We've had a couple new contracts that came through. We got a linen contract that I was telling you earlier. We were kind of like iffy about getting into like linens, because that's like another thing for my squirrel brain to like focus on. And so I was thinking about getting more laser focus on hamper kiosks and not spread my focus out too much. But it was kind of like, instead of me pushing the director of operations, it was like he was pressing me like, hey, let's meet, you know, like we want to get away from this fucking company and this and that. So I ended up meeting with him and the VP, and I guess I kind of got it figured out to where we're just picking up and dropping off, and then we can have somebody else service it, and we still profit enough to where it's a good chunk of change, and we don't got to worry about the processing of it. So that's cool. It might be an opportunity for us to kind of scale into, but I'm gonna kind of tread lightly, you know, and not like add more to my plate. But you know, it's definitely a cool opportunity. I'm happy for it. I'm excited for it. We just got our next round of kiosks that we manufactured delivered yesterday. So that's exciting. I'm trying to get 5 of them deployed I was thinking by the end of the year, but I'm gonna give myself a 2-week buffer because of the holidays, and say January 15th. We've got the 5 locations kind of already like there. We just need to finalize. Got a couple launches coming up next week, and the 5th of December. So we've got 2 right there, and then once we get into Christmas, you know, it'll be kind of up in the air. But yeah, no, I can't really think of anything crappy, man. That marketing fucking seminar was pretty shitty.
It's so hard to find good marketing people, man.
Dude, and it was kind of on the fly. Like, I was here and I saw it come up.
What was going
and
on?
Let me check it out, you know.
Maybe
Like,
it's the universe telling you something.
I don't know what it was, bro. I was like, fuck, man. Like, but yeah, no, I mean, no, I'm grateful, man. Everything's been cool. The podcast was dope. It turned out a lot
cool.
better than. I mean, I know we like bullshitted for like a minute, but I was like, damn, an hour, and I was like, this is actually like
good shit the whole
myself.
time.
Like,
Yeah,
like,
dude, that's the best part about having a podcast that I found is, I mean, obviously, I think we were talking about this before. Like, if I have 2 mics set up, the quality would be better for talking like this close to the mic versus having it in the middle. But it still came out clear, like better than I expected. But listening to the content,
video. I listened to the podcast.
Yeah, and I have both now. It's like my workflow is to get the video, and then I take the audio from that to make the podcast. So I only edit the video once, and then the audio from that becomes the content. Yeah, so it's real easy, and I just do it both in one go, and I just have a camera.
It's probably a
going
little
like
bit
this.
easier than doing just audio edit by
Right.
itself.
Yeah.
What if you threw snippets of them onto your Instagram?
Yeah, that's the thing. I've started to slowly do that. Like, I recycled a Dan Locke interview. I posted that like 2 weeks ago, and that video was from like 6 months ago, probably by now. I'm just trying to get better at bringing out more content like fast, you know, without having I don't know. My VA hasn't really done it yet because I haven't told him what I want to do. But I want to have those videos where you have like the words on top, and then the captions, and then the little red bar that shows how long. But like, I don't want to sit there and like do it myself. And
I can only
Nah,
imagine.
there's an app for it though.
if there's a good app for it, yeah, I'd love to. If anyone knows what it is,
Let me see if I can find it.
that would be super
Might
helpful.
tell me.
So I reached out to one of the Arctic guys, but they do it on like.
I know there's some different programs. Like, I used
no, it's
Headliner
like,
Headliner before.
the video version of Photoshop. What's it called?
Oh, Premiere
I guess or something.
Premiere Pro.
or Final Cut.
Or no, it's actually Final Cut.
Final Cut's on
Final
like
Cut.
Mac, I
It's on
think, and
Mac.
Premiere's on
Yeah.
PC.
Well,
they have to
Premiere
go-
is like the Photoshop, the
But
Adobe
they have
one.
to go through like
Something
pretty
else.
much all the frames to put the words in to match them up with.
Mhm.
Like it's
Like,
the
it's
way
a
they
lot of
do
work.
It's like a
Oh,
professional
try-
dude doing it.
Try Premiere Rush. It's
For
like a
captions?
simpler version of
Premiere
Premiere Pro.
Rush.
Yeah,
They got like the closed
captions-
captions on the bottom.
It just shows the captions.
Captions on the
But
bottom,
they
and
come
like
up
a
with,
headliner.
graphics and like you know.
I was
it's-
trying to do that with the video, a hamper video. What I did is I uploaded it to Facebook,
Oh,
and
you got the
they'll
captions?
auto caption it, but I haven't saved it because I mean, like, you know, I'm not putting anything on YouTube. I should be, but you know, I'm not. Well, I'm putting the video, but not with the captions. But maybe try doing that. Put
That's
it
a
on
good
Facebook.
idea.
I was gonna
and
say YouTube itself has closed captions as well.
Yeah,
no?
they auto-generate. I don't know how accurate it is. I know
not
there's
very
an app
Well, he's talking
called.
about it's like when they're kind of like
Oh,
very
snippets.
artistical. you know, the big words, small words,
Yeah.
colored words, and it's
Like during the conversation,
like
or like
as
in
it's
the,
talking,
the
like if
snap?
I was saying this podcast is about, like you'll see in real time
Like
the
each word
words,
sums up.
and then certain words that they want to emphasize are like bigger, red,
Oh, wow.
bold.
Text Gary Vee. man.
It's real cool. Yeah, look up like Gary Vee
Listen,
stuff.
It's like get a
Um,
team of 4 people. They'll do it for you.
But yeah, lots of good content. I guess, do you guys have any topics you want to talk about? I know we did a couple of meetings where we had like a topic we covered. Maybe we could just be like, hey, if anyone has questions, this could be like the mastermind panel where you have a question and then everyone kind of chimes in, and then
Actually,
It's not
yeah.
an idea, yeah.
Oh, do you want to go?
you guys have ideas?
Well, I don't know if you guys have any ideas on how I should like sell to dealers, because I'm like,
I'll,
I-
or
I
I
kinda-
kinda- yeah,
Let me
That's
throw
a
on
good
that.
and I could riff
Yeah.
on that too with like an example.
That's what I think we need to talk about. I feel like everyone
That helps for
that's starting
everybody.
there has been talking about lead generation.
Yeah.
We have an expert in the room, and then we're all struggling with it. Maybe that can be the.
Yeah.
I was like, who's the expert?
I'll
Who's
tell you
gonna take
guys.
that?
You know, we can talk about what's working, what's not, and I'd be
Yeah.
happy to share what we're doing. I mean, we're
Beautiful. I love that topic, and this could be like so valuable. We can share this piece of content.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's like not mess up.
Smile.
Yeah.
Right.
So go for it. I don't know if you
So
want
wait,
to
let's
start
like what
Oh.
the
So I
topic
guess
we're
be
gonna
more
cover.
specific about the question. Like, which part of the process are you having a hard time with?
well, I'm actually having like, if I can sit down and talk to a manager, I can sell to them no problem. But my problem is
Getting
getting
them
a
to do
manager
that.
to sit down with me.
Okay.
You know, because they kind of see me as an annoyance. They don't really see me
Yeah,
as like.
I
Absolutely.
think that if you
Absolutely.
think that they
You
see
know?
you as an annoyance,
Yeah.
then you've already pretty much made up your mind. If you think that they see you as somebody very valuable to their business, you might approach it in a different way. It's all psychological.
They probably read that energy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Well, I
hit
mean,
the,
they don't really see me a lot of times though. Like I
It does,
usually
you don't
get
even
like,
get that far.
no, like the secretary says, "Oh, email this," or they call this number, and I do.
All right, his problem is schedule a meeting.
Yeah,
That's my problem too. I
yeah.
don't know what's your problem. But
You got to see how. I think you got to see how you can try to entice them. Like, here's kind of a little secret. I don't know. I might not post this, but like when I worked in the investment space, I was cold calling assisted living facilities to try to get old people who have old houses and get their leads. So the way I pitched it was like, hey, I get a lot of old clients that are looking to sell their home, and like we buy their house, but like I'm not sure where to send them when they're looking for senior living. So I'm looking for a referral partner. And that got in the door. I got like 5 out of 5 meetings, maybe 4 out of 5.
What
And
do
they're
you
like,
mean?
Like I was telling them, I want to send them leads when I talk to old people who are selling their house. I need an assisted living facility to send them to. So they're like, yeah, talk to Sherry in marketing, and they were like super excited. Like, when can you meet? And I feel bad because I did it to like 7 of them, and I told them the same pitch when like I knew I didn't have that many people to send to everyone.
That's no problem though.
But once you get in, once
No
you get
problem.
in, you develop the relationship, and then I got a lead. Actually, what my first listing that I closed was a lead from one of those ladies.
Wait, what was your pitch?
My pitch was I'd call and be like, hey, my name's Chris. I'm with this company in the Heights called Senate House Buyers, and we buy investment grade properties. So a lot of the owners tend to have been there for a long time. They're elderly, and so when we buy their house, I'm not sure where to refer them to when they're looking for assisted living or independent
So he
living.
sold them on
Yeah,
him being a benefit
Yeah.
to them,
Bringing the
not
leads.
him going and trying to make it.
So
sale.
I got
Yeah.
immediate appointments,
Yeah.
and I developed relationships. I got Valentine's Day. I met with one of the ladies, for example, and like I brought chocolates, and I was like, "Happy Valentine's Day! Thanks for meeting with me
Wore a
today."
muscle shirt.
For real.
That's why she
Dude,
met with him.
That's definitely.
It wasn't the strawberries or
That lady
chocolate.
sent
Bro,
me 4
yeah.
leads.
Try to find women to talk to.
She sent me 4 leads.
Swear to God, I swear to God, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, most of the
But you
the
never
sales
know.
managers in dealerships are men.
But see, that's what I was gonna tell him: is don't go after the GM. The first, so before we even had an app for pickup delivery,
Yeah.
we literally were like, "Yo, let's go like sign some dealerships." That's how we got Sewell Cadillac. Sewell Cadillac was the first dealership we got, and that's because I talked to the executive assistant to the GM and not the GM. I never met the
Because they'll
fucking
sell
GM.
it for you. Right?
Yeah. And so try to find like the front desk lady. They're usually old, and
They love to
But
talk.
they're like the
They love
right
to
hand
talk.
person, right?
Oh yeah,
they're
like
the-
the front desk, like they all know me. They're like, "Oh, I'll get him for you right now." I'm like,
dude,
"Okay,
charm
thanks."
charm the shit out of the gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Find the person right under the GM. The GM's got a lot of important shit to like deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
The
before you
GM
even
is
get,
making 2-3 million easy
Yeah.
a year.
and he's running
So,
shit. So
yeah.
like before you even get to the GM, like try to build some sort of relationship with the GM, even though you're not really talking to him or interacting with them.
Yeah.
Like the thing is like I always look at it like if I was sitting in his seat, and some like how many times I don't know about Joe, but I get fucking phone calls from like
Every
this
day.
company, that company, this email, and I gotta call them like, yo, I pick up the call and I'm like, dude, like this is a customer line only. Stop soliciting.
Yeah.
Like, and I hang up on them. So like it's like when you're being sold to, you're just like,
Yeah.
You
fuck,
close
like,
off.
no,
yeah.
I'm good, you know. And even if it's like,
Even if it's valuable to you, you just don't want to be sold. So
Yeah.
you're, like,
People love to
automatically-
buy. They don't like
I
being
don't know.
sold.
They want
Yes.
to work with somebody that they know
Yeah.
and build
Yeah.
a relationship with.
and salespeople are the hardest people to sales to because it's
Yeah.
a motherfucker.
Well,
selling
because
to a motherfucker.
no, because they know all the
Sorry, cut that
bullshit.
part.
Like all the
Yeah.
bullshit that you're gonna throw at them,
Yeah.
they have probably used
I'm
it
gonna
at some
bleep
point
it out.
and all that
Put
stuff.
something
I
over
actually
your
thought
mouth.
about like showing up with like a bag of M&Ms or something.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
With like
yeah.
mini
Full of
M&Ms.
Brandon, yeah.
Like, hey, I just want to come out and give this to you guys. My company's doing a promo. Here you go. You know, just
Yeah,
And
maybe
maybe
we
so-
can all go around and like give what our answer is to like how it's worked for our business.
What
You guys
works,
think
what
that's
doesn't
valuable?
work.
If you bring M&Ms,
Yeah.
you can tell them that you're there to maximize and maintain their profits. Or something.
this guy is awesome. M&M.
And then maybe
Yeah,
go
wow.
down later sometime.
I can start.
Yeah,
So I'll do
let's-
what works, what doesn't work.
Cool.
So we, well, I'll do what works first. And this is good. So I kind of feel weird about you posting this either, but anyway, we hired. I think I told you, a divisional merchandising manager who's been in the industry for 30 years. We pay her like 150 grand a year, which is our highest paid employee. But she's brought in like 4 different accounts just from her relationship. So it's been really great. What doesn't work is everything else, like emailing. We
Yeah.
tried, and it's worked, but like.
Just so
You
much
know,
volume, probably.
With her, I mean, literally, we hired her on one day. Within 3 weeks, we had in-person meetings. We're pitching the product. Within another 2 weeks, we had like a signed purchase order, which is amazing. And everything else, it's like, it's just tough to get in person. But what we're trying, I'll tell you what doesn't work. What hasn't worked for us, maybe one of you have an opinion. So we have like 2 people full time. Their sole job is to find senior buyers or junior buyers at every single retailer in the U.S. that carries our products, and then we send them an email saying, hey, we see your products. Here's the white space that we find. So I have another person whose job is to analyze their assortment. So they go online, they see what they have, what they don't have, and they'll say, hey, we see that you got great cookware in the $200 range, but you don't really have anything in the $100 range. We do, and then we also have these great color layouts or whatever colorways, and we'll get some responses to that email. Sorry, not to that email. We won't get some responses to that email, and then we'll follow up, with like our catalog and Calendly link, and we'll get some responses to that second email. But that's about it. And from those responses, if we can get a response, it's like our close rate is like pretty high because we've only gotten very few responses. But
What do you
our
sell
emails- we sell a lot of stuff. So we sell like air purifiers, cutting boards, coffee grinders.
He
Coffee
white
pots.
labels a lot of his products, and then he sells it to like Target
Yeah.
or Walmart or whatever. And then,
labeled?
and then they
Okay.
put the brand that they want on it, great value, right? Correct. And
Yeah,
then-
yeah.
I remember that's what you told me.
Yeah, Target.
And then he has his own brand that he sells the same stuff under as well. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
You guys don't manufacture it though, right?
Yeah.
You
So
do?
So our
Oh,
partners
okay.
are in China. We got a huge.
Yeah, that's what's
So-
up.
Yeah, he has the
Yeah.
whole process.
That's dope.
Pretty cool.
Do
Yeah.
you travel out there at all?
Yeah, actually,
All the
my
time.
partner is just out there. I don't know. He just came back this week. And
Oh man.
I was
Where in
yeah.
China?
Tag along with time.
Ningbo.
Okay.
Well, yeah, Ningbo is kind of the main
Yeah.
place. Shanghai is where we're flying to.
Yeah.
That's
Cool.
what's up.
So I'm just gonna like go over what you just said because you said something really important. I feel like that's what a lot of people try to do when they're selling.
Mm-hmm.
Is they want to go in there. You said when you reach out to those people on the first email, when you're sending them your products, oh, you don't have this, I could give you this. You
Yeah.
don't have this, I could give.
Very.
They're not gonna buy. Why? Because you're going in there trying to sell them. They don't know who you are. They don't trust you. You're just another email in 500 emails that they got that same day.
Yeah.
So the odds are that they're not gonna be interested in it.
Right.
You know? And just like
It's
you
true.
said, you don't get any opens for that.
Yeah.
What I do and what works for me is you throw them a hook that gets them interested. That's it. And that hook is going to be like 2-3 sentences. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then you either leave your phone number. For me, I don't like to leave my phone number because I don't want them to call when I don't know who it is because I'm not going to save everybody's phone number.
Yeah.
You know? But when we do our campaigns, I have my assistant tell them to send us, their phone number or a calling link to where they can go in there, pick what time they want us to call them, and they will call them at that time.
Yeah.
They leave their phone number and all their information and stuff. But you just throw them a hook,
Yeah.
you know, to create the interest, create the curiosity, create all that stuff. The sale's not going to happen through the email.
Right.
Because let's be real, how many people over here have got one email from, like, let's say Yusuf here, got an email from Chris, you didn't know Chris, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go buy a house with this guy right now.
Yeah.
You know, let me put in my credit
Right,
card
yeah.
information, or let me call my company
Yeah.
and tell, you know,
We spent $2
nobody,
million buying his
Market
product.
space.
exactly, or spend, you know, $2-3 million, you know, on an order with them.
So what do you think? So because we've even started giving stuff away for free. So in the email we have like we A/B test everything. So
Yeah.
we have like 5 different email templates. One of them is, hey, so this is for our higher party accounts.
Yeah.
Let's say Target. We would love to be in Target. You know, we've already gone ahead and sent you a sample of our best selling product. You know, please let us know what you think. And that's like not very. What do you think?
See,
So we give
you
them
just,
for free.
No, you just showed that you want them.
Yeah.
You didn't show the value of who you are.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example,
Right.
for the cookware.
So good, man.
Let's say the cookware that you have.
Yeah.
This is our cookware,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe, I mean, invest some money on the. I don't know what marketing you're doing, like as far as on the product itself.
Mm-hmm.
Create a video, create some reviews, get it some like bomb ass pictures and stuff going on for
Make
it.
it pop. Yeah.
Exactly.
If you
Hey,
need pictures,
this has
let me
been
know. I'm
Huh?
learning the art. So.
Yeah, this has been selling at this rate,
Yeah.
and we could make this for you for selling at this rate. We can make it for you at X value. You don't have anything at this value, so now you just show them their problem, your solution, and how good your solution is.
Mm-hmm.
You just answered any of that with them. If you're interested, give me a call or email us back.
Yeah.
But you didn't try to sell them on anything.
Yeah.
You just showed them. You have a weak point. I can fix it,
Mm-hmm.
and my fix is good because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So the highest selling on Amazon.
Highest selling on Amazon. The reviews are
Reviews.
5.0 for whatever.
Yeah.
This is who we are.
But
You know?
on the same side, you have to be able to differentiate your product from the competitors, because I mean,
There's a lot
for
of
every
competition.
one person that says exactly what you just said, which is products are our margins are really nice, and basic stuff like that about the products.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be 5 other people that are in the same situation.
Sure. Well, what I told him, he's not gonna sell on that email. Like the first
Yeah, our
email,
goal-
don't even expect
He's right.
to sell on it.
My goal is to get
Yeah.
in front of them.
Yeah.
If we can get in
Exactly.
front of them, 100% or 99% chance we're gonna sell them.
And the
Sell
only
yourself.
Yeah. Well, sell your results too, because they don't know him.
Yeah.
You know, for
Yeah, he's
example,
right.
like if I don't know you,
Yeah, he's right.
if I don't know Chris, why am I gonna give that guy my time of day?
Yeah.
He's right.
I could sell myself when I go in there,
Mm-hmm.
because now I'm showing him I'm good, my product is good, I back my shit up, all that stuff. But I'm not gonna be able to sell him on the first email. You're
No,
just
that's not-
piquing the interest, all that stuff. Well, that's what I'm talking to him about.
And
like
I
the
don't really
first
know if they
email.
give a shit. Like they're not investing in my business, right? They just
Exactly.
care whether this coffee grinder is
And,
gonna
like,
sell
what they
shit
do,
and
too.
they're
Yeah.
gonna get their
Yeah.
bonus.
Exactly. Well, I mean, they also want to
Yeah.
know that like you're legit. You're gonna be able to fulfill the
Yeah,
order and
that's
stuff.
the biggest.
I was about to say. I mean,
so
I'm pretty
worried
sure
about
in that space, there's a lot of bullshit companies. I mean, same thing with the marketing.
Yeah,
You know.
for sure.
And I get that a lot with my clients, and they're like, "Well, we paid this person, and
Can you
he
fulfill?
paid,
Yeah.
and then he just dipped, and all that stuff." I'm like,
Yeah.
"You know what? I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I'm in this for the long run. I'll give you a full month's free trial, but after that,
You
after
say
close
that,
some
yeah.
deals on it, we're gonna have a 6 months contract at this number.
Yeah, you were talking loud.
They're like,
before,
okay.
so,
If you can get me that,
Because that way you're showing them the value for free, like
Yeah.
no harm, right?
exactly. Like, no, I'm showing them I'm real, because there is
Yeah.
a lot of bullshit out there,
Yeah, he's right.
and nowadays in this field, it's really
Low
hard to
barrier
like
to
stand
entry.
out from the bullshit, because the bullshitters know how to like
They're
mask
good.
themselves
Good.
pretty good. So you have to be able to like put something on that, and you tell them like, hey, me doing this for a month, you have 0 risk on your end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the one taking all the risk. I'm the one going out there and setting everything up. I'm the one that giving you a system that nobody else is giving you. So once this trial is over, and you see the results, and then I track all that stuff.
Yeah,
So-
like so small percentage might like say screw you and like we don't need you and just take the leads, but like probably
And
most
the
will
last
see
10
the
that I
value.
did, I had 10 contracts on.
Yeah, because if
Yeah.
you're getting them
Just
money,
because,
why
like,
would
for
they
example,
not?
I'll sell them on, let's say, 50 leads, I'll send them 100.
Nice.
So I
good
way
technique.
over deliver to
To write it
where
down to.
they they're blown away by like the stuff that they're getting.
Yeah.
Are you on your competitors' website or their competitors' websites, like on Walmart's website and
Yeah,
things like that?
So we tell them that. We even do some of, and you're right, because that worked. It worked for Home Goods actually. So we put a lot of product in there for free.
Yeah.
We said whatever you don't sell, we'll take it back. And
Like consignment?
basic, yeah, in a way,
I would just hyperlink. I would just say like last paragraph, like, you know, we're in Walmart, you know, Kroger, et cetera, just hyperlink them, and then they can
Show
see
it.
you're on their websites
Yeah.
and be like, okay, yeah,
It
maybe
shows
this guy is
legitimacy
legit.
too.
Yeah, we do tell them all that.
That's what's up. Okay.
Cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So
Okay.
for me, that's the thing. I mean, if you're trying to sell, don't try to sell in the first email. First email should just merely
Try
be
to build
the
a
hook.
relationship. That's
Yeah,
what
I mean that's the hook. I mean,
That's literally what it comes
yeah.
down to.
yeah, you're just trying to get that person to have a conversation with you.
Yeah,
What
that's the hard part.
Yeah.
yeah,
That
exactly.
the relationship, anyway. I mean, I think
Yeah.
So what I do to build my relationship to get to that point, because I'm not gonna make a sale on the first email. I'll ask them a question at the end, and in the beginning, I will try to intrigue them to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
Give them that hook, and at the end, give them a question, so that they feel like, you know what, let me just go ahead and.
Yeah.
And if you get that first email, that stays in their mind. Okay, yeah, I did talk to this guy. They're gonna be more inclined to participate in business with you.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do always end it with a question, just because I feel like if you just leave with a statement, it's like, all right,
Like, let me know when you have a chance. Okay,
Yeah.
no response.
our response, yeah.
One thing that I heard
Do you
is
agree?
really
Yeah, no, that's bullshit.
one thing that converts really well, at least now that I'm in real estate, people, there's a site called BombBomb, like BOMB, and apparently you can send videos. I don't know how much it is, and I know some top agents that I know have it. You can send videos through like email, but it's not like a YouTube video where they have to click and leave Gmail. It'll literally play within Gmail or whatever.
You can do that in Gmail too by itself.
You can?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's good
I
to
can
know.
show you that.
But like apparently it's really easy to convert because if they open the email
Yeah.
and it starts playing your video and audio, this worked for me when someone was trying to get on my podcast. He sent me like two, 3 emails. I ignored them all because I was like busy and I get a lot of requests. Then he sent me a video and was like, "Hey Chris, it's David. Wanted you to see, I'm a real person, this and that." And like I actually was like, I admire the hustle to follow up in the video, and I booked a call and I interviewed him on my podcast. And then he even followed up in Christmas time and was like, "Hey, I hope you had a great year. Thank you back in March when you interviewed me." And I'm like, wow, that's like, I learned from that I need to have that level of follow up, because usually I'm like, okay, cool. I forgot about whatever conversation we had and whatever you did for me, and I might not go back to thank you, right? So that may be worth checking out too.
Yeah. In today's day and age, I feel like the relationship between Donald Trump and Tim Cook is like the framework for relationship building.
What is the relationship between Donald Trump and Tim Cook?
So Jim,
I think
Huh?
he goes by
Like
Tim
mutual.
Apple these days.
so Tim Cook was the first person, or the only person, to congratulate Donald Trump from all the CEOs in the Fortune 500 company, and
And he still tariffed his ass.
well, no, he's actually reducing tariffs on Tim Cook for the future, because now Tim Cook is telling him the relationship is really good, and I saw the little documentary where they would call back and forth and just talk for a little while. Now he's on Trump's little advisory in the Oval Office, and being in that advisory,
He gets first-hand info too.
I couldn't do that.
First-hand
though.
info,
Can
and
influence.
he says that Trump is actually saying that he's going to allow Apple to work without tariffs, because you got Huawei and you got other companies in China that have the same situation. They're not getting taxed. And so Trump is like, okay, well, let's just go ahead and reduce some taxes here and increase taxes. He's going to have to increase taxes on other companies, but he might just not tax Apple.
I guess it kind of goes to show the relationships, right? You
Exactly.
got to get special privilege and stuff.
You got to
have
work your
those.
way up to it, I feel like. And you can't
Yeah.
just call him one day and be like,
Must be nice to be
become
able
friends
to
with
call up the president, reduce your taxes.
Yeah, I couldn't.
That's not that easy. It's not that
been,
simple.
you're selling
Well,
it
it's
out
like
a little bit.
Sun Tzu's one of his main deal is keep your friends close but keep your enemies closer. I think
Yeah.
that's exactly what he
that's
did.
same
100%.
thing.
I mean, he's the only
He
one.
was able to put aside his feelings and just be like, you know what, this is my goal. This is something I hope I'm a company. I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
Yeah, Tim Cook said he said that I don't know anybody that's successful sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
That's true. Dang.
All right, Lee Jen, do you want to go?
Who wants to chime in on lead gen?
I was just writing you guys this, things down. Like I'm learning over here. Go,
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm
ahead.
documenting it all. This is
Yeah.
gonna be good. I like go back and take notes and listen again.
I got like 10 notes from this guy.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
Share this video with us, man.
Don't
Yeah,
charge
I
it.
can share the whole. I can share this whole raw video. Honestly, I think we talked about it before, but we never did this. Recorded and put it on like a
Dollar the cup.
yeah. As far as my advice on getting just sit downs with people in charge, listen to these guys. They know what they're talking about. Yeah. But you go ahead.
Trying to think about some things that worked recently. How I approach it is pretty much like in school. You try to find, like, you want to date the pretty girl, right?
Yeah.
So you try to date her is not easy. So you got to basically become friends with her friend in order to get to her. So
That's a good way of looking at it.
No,
That's honestly how.
Kinda,
Bro,
but
that's-
carry on. We'll get back to that part.
Yeah, but what if you get
She's
friend
got the
zoned
ugly
before you
friends.
get there?
What if her friends ends up
She's
like
got
you?
more friends.
it's a whole lot of variables, right? But basically, damn, I don't know if we should.
No, go for it.
Yeah,
go for it.
I know it's
I
being
like this.
recorded
I get-
though, so it's like it's kind of weird. All
Yeah,
right,
I know it is weird.
You gotta
Yeah,
tread
trust me.
carefully.
Turn the mic off.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Hey, if you
Trying to-
want,
Off the record. Off the record.
you want me to?
I mean, he can
I don't-
always edit that. It's
Alright.
not.
But still, it's like. You know,
5 minutes.
Why did everybody move from that frame to that frame? What's going on? You know what you're saying? It reminds me of that one quote, Maya Angelou, where she's like,
people remember how you made them feel.
yeah.
Yes.
And then that made me that reminded me of what Ed Milet always talks about, that reticular activating
Oh,
factor.
RAS system?
Yeah,
That's why I saw your hamper today.
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause,
Yes.
I'm just driving and I see this little white van with little blue letters on it. So hamper.
Oh, it is.
It is,
Yeah.
it is.
That shit works.
Yeah, bro, and
You
it's like
focus
if-
on stuff
if-
that you're thinking about.
Yeah, like the way he always describes it is you buy a new car and now you're seeing more of those cars on the road type deal. But then it's
They were
also
always there, but like you never noticed them.
yeah,
before.
exactly, yeah. And like the problem's always been there,
Yeah, it's
but
been there.
because you came in and made them feel a certain way,
Yeah.
and like memories that are linked to emotion, like think about when you're a kid, right? The times where you're the happiest or the most scared or the most frightened, whatever, those are the memories you still remember to this day. So like if you link something to an emotion, like make them feel a certain way when you're talking about something, it's gonna stick.
Yeah.
And then it's just a matter of like that RAS kicking in. What is it?
Reticular activating system.
I'm gonna go with a yes on that. So
Yeah,
Right.
I'll look.
I read
Something
his
like
book.
that.
I read Max
Hold on.
Out, so I think
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember.
And then they'll just
Pull
keep.
this out.
Yeah,
I'll
Speaking of his
yeah.
book.
in a second. Don't wait on me. I'll give you.
Man, Lewis is ready. Just bust
Alright.
out the book.
I'm always ready, man. I always carry.
Where'd you get the hat from, bro?
I ordered it.
On the shop?
After the fact, yeah.
Man, that's what's up.
Cool.
You didn't get one over there?
Nah, I wanted to get a hoodie, bro,
I
but
thought-
they didn't have any hoodies.
What is
but I
this?
need a Arte. That
Reticular,
It's like a
yeah,
cult.
reticular
Yeah.
What's that called?
Reticular activating
Cool.
system. So like we went to this thing called the Arte Syndicate event in St. Louis. If you've heard of Andy Frisella and Ed Milet, they're like top podcasters and like interviewers. Ed Milet has a pretty big YouTube show. So we went to that event in St. Louis in April, and we actually met him at the airport there on the way back and didn't realize he lived in Houston. He was at the
Wow.
event.
It's weird how it all just kind of happens.
Yeah, so that's how we kind of connected. And
Nice.
I guess you guys went to the recent event as well. I was out of town, so I couldn't make it, but it was in St. Louis again.
Oh,
Cool entrepreneur group, bunch of like,
You should
know,
check it out. I think it'd be
like 1,000 people come to the event.
oh,
Just
So,
relatable people.
And by the way, though, everything that I'm saying, I don't think it'll work at scale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got to do
I-
stuff that doesn't scale,
but,
right?
But I do believe it's going to build massive credibility, right? Because by the time, like about the time we start working on, like, for me, my focus now is just Texas. Like, I'm trying to become favored. Like, fuck the other 49 states, skip
Yeah.
my language. Like, I just want to focus on being the best in Texas. That company, I think they sold for like $34 billion, just being really good at tech in Texas.
Favorite?
And
Did they really?
Yeah, to HEB.
Yeah, dude, it's
34
wild.
billion?
Who was it?
Which company?
You gotta check the
Favor.
numbers,
Favor?
but I know it's in the billions.
Wait, what's the company?
Favor, Favor.
Oh,
You
the
see them.
little
Delivery
order-
company.
The little blue
Yeah.
T-shirt
Yeah.
with like the
Oh,
tuxedo
damn,
looking
they're
thing.
expensive
Yeah.
as hell.
But I think to
Sold to
not-
HEB.
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah, HEB bought them. I think in 2016.
HEB's doing some good marketing with them too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big time. But yeah, I just
I
not-
wish you could invest in HEB, man.
Yeah, it's-
Right.
but yeah, I just think it's not gonna work at scale, but I do believe it's gonna help me build the credibility in the early accounts that'll help grow the thing like nationwide.
Then at
if
scale,
we
they'll come to
decide.
you. That's the
That's
thing.
true. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
So then you
Very
don't
true.
gotta scale it after a
Very
certain
true.
point.
Very
Right.
true. Like
Yeah.
even when I went to the restaurant and I was like, yo, we did this thing with Google. We got $20,000. Oh really? Like just the name Google for the 20 grand. It's just all the names.
Yeah.
It's
Credibility.
weird, but it matters, man.
does.
No, I know that.
It
That's what
really
I think.
matters.
It even
That's
matters.
honestly,
yeah.
that's why I feel like if I get this one AutoNation to it, because it's pretty much the biggest like Toyota in South Houston. If I
Yeah.
get this one, I've got to use
Which
the
one is
shit out
this?
of that.
Sterling
It's-
McCall?
No.
No, the
It's
one,
AutoNation
45.
Toyota, so it's exit 33 or 34.
AutoNation is the big group.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Call
that's
that? Is that social?
something one.
What do they call that?
No, that's a Group
Um,
One.
Group One automotive.
Group One. That's like all the
Yeah,
Clear
I'm
Lake
trying to remember
autos.
the exact
AutoNation is
Gotcha.
bigger than that.
Social
AutoNation's
Group,
like
Social
And
nationwide.
then there's
That's all I
Sonic.
Sonic is like
Sonic is like a
different.
mother company that owns
Yeah.
a bunch of dealerships.
Yeah.
So Sonic
It's
will
like
own
Group
like a
One?
Dodge, yeah, like Group One, like
And AutoNation's like
AutoNation.
Gilman.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
Sonic
gotcha.
owns AutoNation.
I mean, I'm
I
not
thought they
sure
were
like if
separate.
huh?
I know those
I
are
thought
the
they
two
were
big
separate.
dogs.
No, I mean, like I'm saying, AutoNation is like their own corporation where they own Toyota, Ford, they own like all the like a bunch of different stores, and then Momentum, and then Sonic. Actually, Sonic owns Momentum, so all the
Yeah,
Momentums
Sonic,
are Sonic.
The first
There's Group One.
5 or first 10 dealerships. If I was in your position, take it for what it's worth. What I would do is go to the 10 dealerships that I wouldn't want as a client, like small fish,
Practice.
and literally go in
Oh,
there and
yeah.
just
Go
talk.
blow them up.
When
I
I
feel
first started
like-
interviewing for jobs, that's why I interviewed with Pepsi.
Yeah.
Just to like
Well-
know what it's like. as my
Well,
first
to me,
interview.
like all these, like I want every single dealership in Houston, though. You know.
But
So,
you're not gonna get every
Yeah.
single dealership.
Go to
from
Mossy
Houston. You gotta
Nissan, bro.
understand that.
Yeah.
Mossy Nissan is trash.
Yeah.
Which Nissan?
Mossy Nissan. It's on I-10. They got like 2 dealerships.
sorry,
Mossy.
Masi Nissan.
Yeah, bro.
I bought a car from them
Get
once,
super
bro.
slander.
And it was never
Sorry.
again. But go to Mossy Nissan. Go to these small they
Leave
got
them at
1
1
or
star.
2. They're still family owned. Go to this fucking
Baker?
No, not Baker. What's his?
All the shitty.
The one in River Oaks Dodge. What is it?
Oh,
Huffman.
How?
I
Is that
think
what
it's
it
Huffman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Huffman. Like the small
Go
one.
go
on,
to the River Oaks Dodge. On Kirby.
Yeah, Kirby
His
is.
Yeah,
douchebag kid works there. The guy who owns like all the what is it, Huffman?
Yeah, I think it's Huffman.
Something like
I'll
that,
look
man.
it up
But
right now.
the guy's the sales manager there, his son. And his dad owns like 3, maybe 4 dealerships in Houston. And family owned. And so the kid walks around like, he's his
He's the
dad
shit.
basically. But go talk to him, get cool with him, buy him a couple beers or something, and just pick his brain, bro. Like honestly, people will be more willing to help you than to buy from you.
Yeah,
For
And
real.
Yeah.
Just tell them like I would like your expertise.
that's true.
You know what I
Like,
mean?
Yeah.
This guy in Miami, he said he used to work for Diddy, like doing like Puff Daddy, right? He used to manage his books for his record label. But he said when he left Diddy and started his own venture, he wanted to raise a lot of capital, like I think it was a few $1 million. And he said in that process, when he was trying to raise money, every time he would call people and like, hey, I'm trying to raise X, Y, and Z, they'd be like, no, you know what you need to do? You need to try this, you need to try that. So he said he flipped it. He started calling people asking for advice. And then over a period of time, he became extremely knowledgeable. And then he kept calling people for advice, like, "Hey, I'm working on this. We got this far. I'm trying to get advice on this." And they're like, "Oh, it looks like you already figured it out. Are you trying to raise money?" And then people started throwing them money. So maybe ask for advice. Like, hey,
The
I'm
problem
working
is
on
you're trying to
this.
go
I'm
into the
trying to
sale.
solve this problem.
Yeah.
Before
From
you
the
have
get-go.
all things figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta.
The product sells itself. Like if I
No,
have
no,
every
it's,
time
the
that
product don't
It
sell.
never
itself.
does.
I don't know, man.
For me, like
every
let's
time-
say
every,
I was a dealer.
Yeah.
The product, like the way they explained it to me, like I said, I haven't like gone through and like looked at everything. We're gonna sit down and do that one day. But the way it looks at it, like those people are gonna whore out the shit out of those cars. because they're gonna have to lowball themselves, and this dealer's gonna have to lowball themselves to like try to sell the same car.
Well, I mean, it's actually not that like that though. We limit like which leads go to who, so they're not really like going like 5, 10.
Let's say, for example, let's say I want a Dodge 1500.
Okay, you can limit how far your radius is. You can also limit like how many dealerships like.
Sure,
how
but I
you're
mean, like, let's say I'm in
financing it,
Houston, I'm gonna put it to like 50 miles, 60
Yeah.
miles, because Houston is pretty big.
Yeah.
And then all the main stores in Houston are gonna be competing to sell me this Lariat 1500,
Yeah.
in white. So let's say it's a $35,000 like MSRP. This person comes back at 29. This one comes back at 28. This one comes at 29.5. Like, so everybody's trying to like just make the sale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or that's what I understood. I don't know if
Well,
that's.
that's how it is, but there's like
Yeah.
like other companies do the exact same thing to you though, except with them like once you submit your search, they start calling you and emailing you. With us, you can chat with them right there, so you don't even have to like.
So you just
get
link it
any
to their
phone calls.
website.
Yeah, no, not even on their website. Within our platform, there's a chatting section, so like it streamlines both sales and communication on
Yeah.
one platform.
Like Auto
The problem
Trader,
with his thing
basically,
is that
kind
No,
of.
he's
no,
making
no,
the
it's
market
kinda
efficient.
different.
That doesn't.
Like
really
it's like
make
it's like a
efficient.
mix
Yeah.
of like
So-
it's like closer to TrueCar, but without it. But it's more personable for like each individual sale.
But see, that's the
No.
thing. Like they were saying, don't focus on just going in and making the sale.
Yeah,
Like hell, you could go at you're launched already.
yeah,
You could go in there and don't even bother going to the sales manager or the store manager. Go to the sales managers or the internet manager, and the sales managers they're all sitting at a desk. It's called the tower.
yeah.
There's 4 of them sitting next to each other.
They're fucking frosted.
Yeah, probably
What's
touching
the
each
using
other.
it already?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then go up to them, and be like, "Hey, so I have the software. It does this, and that, and I wanted to show you guys and see what you guys think about it."
Those are the only people that care about your stuff, man.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
Those sales.
Yeah,
those
why aren't you
sales
talking
guys,
to GSMs? Why
They want to
GMs?
increase the
Because
sales.
they
Their
need GM's
commission
approval
based.
to
Yeah.
sell.
Like,
Yeah, okay. Well, that's
The
what I'm
GM
saying.
doesn't
You're
give a
not
shit.
signing them
Yeah.
up.
I made an extra
Yeah.
$2 million. This
Show
year.
people.
Whatever.
Okay, show
Yeah.
people the value. Let them understand how this could help them.
Yeah.
You know, and then they'll buy.
What they're trying to tell you is make
No,
them
yeah.
afterwards come to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like for me, like let's say a laptop. If I'm trying to sell you a laptop and you're in the 1800s, you're like, "What the fuck is this shit? Get the fuck out of here with the sorcery."
Yeah.
You know.
I just want to.
If I try to sell you one like back when they discovered America and stuff, you're like, "Oh, this is some witchcraft shit. We're gonna kill you." You know. So you gotta like explain to them what it is.
True.
No, seriously.
No, he's absolutely right on that. And my
What is
personal
it?
situation.
Yeah. Exactly.
This is
So show them what it is. Explain it. Like if you go in there with a tablet, like a little iPad or whatever. Like, hey, so this is what it is. So what do you guys think about it? Would this be something that you guys would be interested in? After they've seen it, after they've gone through it. Oh, so the leads come from here, and then it goes through this, and then you show them the back end of like what their salespeople would be using, what their call center would be using, what all that stuff they would be using.
You got a one pager, right?
Well, I like prefer that way to where I like walk them through the entire website.
Because it's
But
Because
then
also
you
like
leave
it's
them
a software.
Yeah,
You need a
Yeah.
Yeah, you need a one pager,
Yeah.
but
Don't
it's,
give it
it's
to them,
the
otherwise
software.
they'll shoo you
Yeah.
away. But like,
Yeah.
No,
show
I
them
have it already
first.
on my computer though, so I just like flip through the screens and I just say, oh, this is what happens over here. And
Yeah.
I have the whole.
or
thing
even
set
better
up.
if you can be like, hey, I'll email it to you and you capture their email.
I say always
Yeah.
leave something.
Yeah.
Always.
Always.
You need
I'm
it
telling
with
you.
That'll stay on
Like,
their
I-
desk, bro.
It's something I learned like,
Like one-
when on when going on sales run with my former stepdad. He used to spray cologne on his hands. It's like, why are you doing that? It's
So
weird.
when
It
you
smells
shake their
sticks
It's
with
like,
them.
when we shake hands with people, everybody's gonna rub their face. It's senses. We're gonna think, I remember.
Subconscious.
I'm telling
You know who
like,
does
you
it?
have to leave something physical or
That's some
something for them to
subliminal
remember
shit
you.
right
Yeah.
there. I'm gonna start doing
You
that.
know who
what?
does that? And he's really
Yeah.
good at it?
High school, yeah.
No, you know who does that and is really good at it? If you guys ever heard of a company called Alliant Group, they do tax credit for like big corporations.
Yeah.
Their building is in
Oh yeah.
the Galleria
Yeah.
off of Post Oak and Westheimer,
Okay.
and it's like a lower capital A.
You can't miss it. It's
Yeah, you can't miss it. Yeah.
Alliance.
Alliant Group.
Like
Alliant
a
Group.
lion?
Yeah, no, not
Alliant.
Alliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he does that. He will put like half a fucking a bottle of stuff. And it's the same one. Like it's always
The same
consistent.
one.
I met him 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
It's always the same
Branding.
one. Yeah. That way it just sticks with you. Like you
You
smelled it
remember.
once, you smelled it twice.
Self-branding.
Yeah. Not self-branding. He's stamping, not branding, but he's stamping himself into your back conscious.
Yeah.
You know?
Some pheromone shit right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. It's like next level shit. Yeah.
And even if that didn't happen, that would be a good exercise for you to just write down what you do in like a sentence.
Yeah.
Because that's what your pamphlet's gonna be. It's gonna be one sentence, a couple images.
Oh yeah, we have really good pamphlets. Like honestly, those do like a decent job. But
And then the other thing I was gonna ask you, what's your process for reaching those people?
I walk in.
Okay, that's not a process.
I walk in.
That's not a process.
I say hello.
Do you know who you're looking for? Do you
Well-
know? Yeah, we're gonna talk to the manager, but what's their name? You can find that on the
Yeah,
website.
do your
Well-
homework beforehand.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Instead of walk in and you're like, who's the manager? What's
Yeah.
your name?
Do what this guy did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
No,
had all your
I was gonna
homework
do
done.
that. I actually thought about it, like, cause I think a mix of like calling and walking in would be the best. I would call to like get emails, get like who are like the right people to talk to and stuff,
LinkedIn.
and like not everybody's on LinkedIn though. That's
But
the
still, you
thing.
can
But
try. You know?
I would still like look it up, yeah, and then like once I have like some background info on who like which direction I'm taking, I
Database.
would walk in and
Just
then
make a database of
Yeah.
all the people that you want to reach out to
yeah.
and make it a systemized process.
Yeah.
Or even Google Sheets for you.
Yeah.
Google
Yeah,
Sheets
just
for
have a
them.
VA
Yeah.
do it too, because I was about to sit down and do that with assisted living, and then I just had John. You use him now, the VA. I had him pull assisted living, like probate attorneys for inherited properties, even funeral homes. I never mustered up the courage to go that, because that's like real soon. Like, hey, somebody died. Did they have a house? Like, can I buy it?
Somebody dies, you
A
hear
little too
cha-ching.
soon. Yeah, probate is like after it's gone through the court and it's been a few months, so like people have a house that they need to sell, and it's like hopefully not as fresh of an incident. But I was gonna give an example too for something that's been working with me now that I've become more ninja. A friend who's doing real estate in Dallas, he replied to something on my story like, "That's cool. How'd you get invited to that?" Last night I was at an event at Rice campus, real estate event, and he was asking how I got invited to that, how I found out about it. And it's crazy when I go back to think about it. I work out of the Starbucks on Washington often. Like, that's been my go-to place. It has a nice big table about this size, and I can always find a spot. Parking's easy, right? So I made a friend there who he's like my Starbucks buddy. He's always at that location. He's like, "Oh, you're working from here again?" Me too. Coincidentally, we struck up a conversation, I guess. And he went to A&M as well, and he actually got his MBA from Rice. And he's got a couple successful businesses. He's bought land and like redeveloped it and sold it as a mobile home park with a couple buddies. And so we exchanged information, and he thought of me the other day because he knew I was in real estate, and I always have like my little laptop has stickers like saying realtor and like I buy houses fast. Ask me how. So he remembers that I was in real estate, and he forwarded me the event that only Rice MBA students got. So he's like, "Hey, I don't know if guests are allowed or whatever, but like you might want to check this out." And sure enough, I signed up. They had a little drop down, like if you're a guest, you're welcome to come. Yeah. So I went. He didn't even go. He's not really in real estate. He does like energy stuff. Okay. And so I was at the event. I met a bunch of people, and I got their contact information. It was on my story again today too, like some vice president of like MMG Bank, like vice president of commercial real estate development and like research or something. And I reached out to everybody I met, and me and him are grabbing lunch next Tuesday at the MMG Bank Tower or whatever. And just like that, I scheduled that meeting from some random person that I met at Starbucks who I followed up with, who forwarded me the event invite, and I actually showed up. And I also got a lead out of that too yesterday. One guy's like, "Hey, what do you think about these houses in Edo? I'm looking for a house like $300,000, 3-bed, 3.5 bath. I'm going to Austin, but I'll be back in a week, and we can go look at some homes." I'm like, "Sweet, we can definitely do that."
I think that whatever you think about, it will happen to you. You will,
That's true.
yes, right?
That's the hardest part, though, right?
What
Like,
you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Think about that in a larger scale. Now you only need one person to change your life. Give you a
Seriously.
chance.
Yeah.
no, that's so
Simple as that.
true. Or even the other example where I went to that Bigger Pockets event. I met this investor who is like hungry to buy houses. I showed that I was knowledgeable, and then like 2 weeks later, he bought a house and we closed.
Yeah.
And he wants to buy more. He went to India for 2 weeks for vacation now, but when he's back, we're gonna go look for more. And so that is the thing that I talk about a lot too on my podcast is like the visualization piece. It's hard to think about something that you've never had before. Like I have one of my goals for
You
5
don't know
years.
what you don't know.
Yeah, I want to be worth $10 million. It's just like a number I picked. Is that small? Is that big? I don't know.
How?
And if I've never had it before, like it seems impossible to fathom that amount of money, right? I asked Google today. I was like, okay, Google, what's Jeff Bezos' net worth today? It's like his net worth is 110 billion, 300 million, and I was like, I don't even know how to
It's actually
think
half
of that number.
You should look up
Not
how
anymore.
50 billion,
Hey,
150
I know.
Well, I
He
mean,
was like, psych, you thought.
Well, like at that level, like even if you get you're not moving back in with your mom, so you're fine. you know?
Yeah,
Get
that's
over
such a
it.
crazy amount of money. But like, because sometimes you set ceilings on yourself. I guess that's the hardest part when you're trying to visualize this stuff.
Yeah.
Like I went jogging through River Oaks the other day. And that was an amazing experience because I live in Edo. There's like I'm jogging and stray dogs start following me and stuff. It's like annoying. Like someone's chihuahua comes up and runs at me and I'm like, I'm about to punch your ass. But jogging through River Oaks where I'm like, damn. There's like an Aston Martin blacked out. Kids, like the little rich kids coming from the Baptist school, like 5-year-old, I mean maybe like 10-year-old kids coming from school to these mansions, and I'm like, that is such a crazy. That's their normal. Like they've grown up being used to that and having opportunities and stuff.
They're probably like, Daddy, who's this poor kid running around? I smell peasant.
I was gonna say,
I smell a peasant.
You went to Strike though, like you weren't too different.
But that's the thing. I went to Strike, and like when I went to Rice yesterday, coincidentally, I saw a kid who also went to my high school. So there was a lot of that privilege at that school. But like, my dad was like the guy who owned the dry cleaners and like had me on financial aid, so I could still go there. And I never really felt like
cash
that.
business, man. Back in the day, it was all
Yeah,
cash.
yeah. I mean, cash business. You know,
Never
Uncle
for
Sam
any
really
of
don't
that
know how
shit.
much he made.
Yeah.
We lost.
So like while I went to that school and I was
Fucking
surrounded by some of
taxes.
it, I never really
Fucking
felt
cheated the system.
that, you know, like, oh, we have so much money, we can do what we want. Like my dad has a boat. Like I never had any of that. It was more like my dad's dropping me to school off in this big ass green custom van.
off?
Hell yeah.
That's fun.
Private school, man. We got to drive.
In the cargo van too, bro.
It was like one of those big custom vans with like the
Yeah, the tall ones.
I'm like, man, I don't want to be seeing this. And like,
I remember those days.
it was good for road trips, but when I was going to high school, I was like, drop me off like way over there. Like,
You should probably get off and like go change clothes or so.
I never understood what I did until my brother did the same thing to me.
yeah.
He literally had me drop off really far. I'm like, you know,
It
I can
makes
just
sense.
drive up there. It's really close.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. And then
Yeah.
Dude.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. It kind of went off on a tangent, but what do you guys think? Like thoughts on thinking bigger?
I was thinking grow rich in action.
Yeah.
It sounds like from what you're.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When I was running through River Oaks, I was just like, I sat on a bench and I was just breathing in and like looking at the cars driving through the neighborhood, and you'd see like a little Mercedes park and pull into a circled driveway at one of the houses, and I'm like, I wonder what.
Where the
that
hell
guy
did you
does.
park? They
That was the-
security on.
Dude, that was the thing.
block, bro.
They do. They got security.
Every block you're seeing another security.
So there was a
car.
construction site like on one of the homes, and there were a bunch of trucks and workers. I just like
Walks out with the belt and the hammer.
I parked near one of them, and so people
got a
probably
vest
thought like
in
I'm
there.
one of the workers. But then I just kind of like folded my mirror in because it was a narrow street, and then started jogging. Yeah.
To be honest, I'll add something to that. When making goals and I guess setting things that you want to achieve, don't put a number on it or don't put a specific car or
Because you might limit yourself to that.
because you're putting a ceiling for yourself already.
Yeah.
And for us right now, maybe if somebody's making 20,000 a year, if you tell them, hey, you'll make 200,000 a year if you keep doing it, oh my gosh, that's amazing. But 200,000 a year could be like barely scratching the surface for what that person is capable of.
Yeah.
Being
But I
worth
mean,
10 million, huh?
I think it's good to
I'm
have
sorry,
goals.
but I have to disagree with that. I think that you should put your goals on
Well,
paper.
see, like I was like you should put something, but it shouldn't be like a number.
How do you visualize $10
Yeah.
million?
I just don't even
You know what I
think
mean?
it's
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
mean, and then like think about it. What's $10 million? Is your company worth $10 million? Do you
yeah.
get
Or
paid
is it
$10
you-
million?
Yeah.
Like
you visualize opening up Chase
Yeah.
and seeing
I guess
10
yeah.
million or-
Ultimately, just passive income and financial freedom.
we'll
from,
see
like, working.
exactly, and then you could think about okay, for example, I want to produce that number, and this is how I'm going to produce that number. So now
Yeah,
there's
you got to drill down.
exactly.
For you to get there, I just feel like, people have to care about what you want, and so like no one cares about. I want to have $10 million.
Exactly.
I really don't.
you,
No
what
one
do you
really
have
cares.
to do?
You have to say, hey, I want to make picking something up from picking your laundry up or picking your prescription up from like easier for everyone. People care about that.
That's
You
what I
guys-
was
or
gonna come
a clean
on to.
house. I want to have my brick be clean.
Yeah.
People care about that.
Yeah.
No one cares. I mean, you got to make your.
The
You got to think about your
goal-
customer.
Of an idea
It's
a
just solve a
vision.
problem.
is a lot bigger than a number.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if the number is 1 million, 100 million,
Right,
billion,
right.
all that stuff. And I mean, I'm not saying that's wrong, but I feel like you're putting a cap on yourself. Because you're
Yeah.
gonna, like, if you stay consistent, you're gonna get to that.
But here's my
And
But-
the next
right,
thing is,
so-
don't even think. Like, I don't think you spend a lot of time. I really feel like I never think. I just feel like you just gotta
I just do.
do.
You just gotta
You
do.
gotta do.
Take
do,
action.
Do.
If I like find myself thinking too much, I try to get home and take a shower,
Yes.
and I just like sit there. Like,
That's
why
good,
the fuck are you
yes.
thinking so much?
Yeah,
you're
And
so
then
right.
thoughts just start pouring out. I type it out, put my clothes on, and I hit it.
Well, let me ask you
Just
this,
sit.
because I like this point. When you guys say think, are you thinking like doubting yourself, or are you thinking planning, or what?
Doubting.
Everything. Overthinking.
I think anything that is preventing me from taking action, like most people
Yeah.
run away from that shit. I try to like decode it. Like, what happened? What did I smell? What did I see? Who touched me? Like, it's something that triggered it. And once I can
Gotcha.
identify it, then
Like,
I
oh,
can-
my zipper was 3/4 way
Hey.
down instead of all the way up. You know.
Hey, what's crazy is like
You probably
this
did
is
think
really true. Like, I forgot the
That level of
name of
detail.
it, but I started doing research on like when people have like PTSD, right? So most
This is like entrepreneurship therapy right here.
Yeah.
but no, it's about visualization.
True.
It's ultimately about visualization and what's preventing you from going to the next level. But I come to learn that when psychologists are talking to patients now, they're not only asking them, you know, what did you see, what did you feel? Like, they're asking them, what did they smell, like, what did they taste? And it's been proven scientifically that our experiences as human beings is attached to all of our senses, not just the seeing part. So like when I find myself not being who I know I can be, like I try to drill down quick, figure it out, and then get myself back to that right space. Cause it'll be hard for me to believe that Donald Trump, like running this country, doesn't doubt himself at some point.
Absolutely.
Like everybody does.
That's what
I
he's
just
got
think these
Twitter
guys
for.
are really fucking good. Huh?
That's what he's got Twitter for.
Yeah.
To journal about it.
I just think they're really fucking good at getting back on course faster
Yeah.
than everyone else. Whereas like the guy that grew up in the hood where I grew up at, like his mentality is stuck. Like he only thinks bad, he only sees bad, he only feels bad. Whereas the LeBron that came out of that same environment was like, bro, I'm gonna push it to the limit. Jay-Z came out of that same environment. I really believe like we can correct course, but you gotta know what's causing it. Otherwise you're just floating.
Yeah.
And media or the news or a movie is gonna take you where they want you to go.
Right. What were you
No,
saying
I
about
like
the
that.
goal thing? Like,
I just feel
I think
like-
it's important to set goals too.
I
gotta
think that
shoot
you
for
have to
something.
put your goals on paper. I don't make
Yeah.
$200,000. Now, if I put down on paper that I want to make $200,000 in a defined period of time, when I achieve that $200,000,
You can raise a goal.
Yeah, yeah.
I can raise my goal, but my confidence level is going to be much higher because I
Yeah.
achieved my first goal.
And
Right.
then nothing is
And then the
enough.
next
Like if you have like
Right.
2 million and it's like shit, nothing that
I've
the
told-
200
yeah.
grand is not enough. Like
yeah,
I've
no,
learned
nothing
that
is certain
Exactly.
except for death and taxes,
Yeah.
right? So,
Well, no,
with that
here's
being
an
said, you just keep
example.
moving forward, up
Exactly.
and up.
One of my
Exactly.
cousins was he saw my LinkedIn profile because like I finally am starting to like go all in and like embrace like I'm doing real estate and podcasting, like fuck all my old coworkers. I for a long time was holding back because I was like secretly like, what if I want to get a job? Like I don't want people to see all these posts about motivation and entrepreneurship and that I have a podcast because then I'll never get a job.
Yeah, you're kind of screwed now. Man.
Yeah, because honestly, if you type in Chris Bello on Google, like I'll never get a job because it's like entrepreneur motivation podcast, chrisbello.com. Like, quit your
What's wrong
job.
with that?
Why quit my job?
Quit your job.
Unless it's an
Why is that so
entrepreneurial type company, right? Yeah. Why corporate sucks?
Boss might just hire you to motivate him.
So I've started to go all in on the content, but like I have a cousin who's got me on LinkedIn, and he looked through my profile and saw my history and saw that I studied supply chain, and then I did an internship in an oil and gas company, and then I worked at another one. And he works at Apple in Arizona, and he's been there for a couple of years, like one of the the genius guys or something. And so he was like, "Oh, supply chain, like what is that exactly? And like what did you do? Like there's a new opening at my company, and like I think you can get paid $65K a year. Like that's like way more than I'm making now." And like it just seemed like such a small number, but same thing. He was like limiting himself to that number, but to him it's a lot of money. And I was like, dude, yeah, you could definitely get that job. Like, just this is what the manager does, but also don't limit yourself to a certain number because you could probably do way more if you just keep your mind open, right?
Yeah.
And it's all about perspective because, like,
Chris, you might be like the corporate's biggest enemy in a few years.
I know, dude. I'm gonna like get all everyone to quit their
has that
job.
luxury.
Yeah.
Somebody quit
People
their
have
job and
kids.
tag me on Instagram.
And to be honest, like for me, yeah, like being your own boss, your own business and stuff is great. But I never knock on the people that went to school,
Right,
work in the corporate
right.
jobs and all that stuff,
Everyone
because
has their
it's
own
part
balance.
of an ecosystem.
It is. Everyone has.
Not
to,
They
every-
wouldn't buy your
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Yeah.
Not everybody could go out and do the same thing. And for you to knock, the job or even the people that are working at fast food, you want to give them the hope and the vision that there's more,
right.
but you don't want to knock what they're doing as this is bad, don't do this or whatever.
No, yeah.
you know.
Even like PJ from Secret Academy says that like a 9 to 5 isn't bad. Like people, you need some income when you're building your dreams.
Exactly, exactly.
And people should never be like, oh, I don't like to work, so I'm not gonna do this 9 to 5. Like I feel like I work so much more now
Yeah.
than I did a 9 to 5. And at least a 9 to 5, you're doing this stuff, you're learning, whatever. Like sometimes, like half the shit I put up with is people's problems. Why
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
someone do something?
Where's like Jawan and Lilo? They talk about that.
There's
all the time.
actually like no. I mean, I don't know what you think, but I don't think there's too much luxury in being. Like there's a lot of negative stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of mental health issues. I mean, it's.
To be honest, like the business aspect, and this is something that not a lot of people talk about in our space, is being good at solving all the problems around you and your personal problems without causing any problems.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That's a lot.
For sure.
Yeah.
Turn that into a
Well,
haiku, bro.
Going off what you said,
Yeah.
have you heard the quote that an entrepreneur works 80 hours a week so that they don't have to work 40 hours a week for someone else?
Yeah.
For sure.
And I mean that comes back to like the
So true.
the thing that I was saying about like setting a number, because setting a number, once you reach it, yeah, I've reached my goal, but if you're not like really in love
Yeah.
with
you're
the
absolutely
hustle,
right. You're
with
absolutely
the
right. You gotta love the process.
yeah, with that part, like I like getting rejected. And I like calling them back and be like, why do we do this?
So you have a twisted
yeah,
mind,
no,
yeah.
let's talk about this,
You're inquisitive. That's good.
Exactly. And for me, like, I don't even care about getting your business. I just want to know why.
Yes.
So
You
you
know?
can understand what.
So I can
To do it
understand.
better next time.
I feel like I'm more in a fight with myself than like the
That's
next
what it
client
is.
that I'm gonna
Yeah.
talk or whatever, or call, or get on the phone with or whatever, just because I'm searching for more in me, and through that, yeah, I'm providing value to them, and the value is good for them and their business. But for me, I'm always trying to find like where I could fix this guy more.
Yeah.
Do you create like a list of objections? Like
What do you mean?
a
That's
person
helpful.
said no
Yeah.
because of this.
Like,
do you
Think.
I've read a lot of that stuff, like the objections that I come across,
Yeah.
but I don't go off of like a pitch per se or a formula,
No, no,
just
no.
because I've done the
Conversation.
calls so many times.
Yeah, not necessarily a pitch, but like identifying like why a person said no. So going forward is like, oh, we addressed that problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like writing it down or
So basically, for example,
understanding it.
I'll give you guys an example. Like when I do stuff for like home remodelers or developers, like roofers, reconstruction stuff like that. They always say, "Oh, well, we use home what's it called? Home Advisor
Yeah.
and Zillow, or like there's this other thing like that. They put stuff on it.
Angie's
like-
List. And
Yeah, all that bullshit. Well, I'll be like, well, I mean, a lot of you guys, I tell them that a lot of you guys, like all the people in this field, use Home Advisors. So what Home Advisors does is they'll send you that same lead 4 or 5 times, and they'll send it to like 20 other people in your area. So by the time they get to them, they either bought or they really don't care because they feel like they can buy, and that just limits what you could do with them, even having a conversation, because at that point they're already turned off, or they already bought elsewhere. And then he goes like, "Oh yeah, you're so right. How did you know that?" Like, well, because I used to sell to them, and I don't sell to them anymore because I'm trying to provide value to you
Good
guys.
leads.
Yeah. So the leads that come to me, they're coming specifically to you on your offer, and the whole process is being recorded from the time that they come and put in their phone number to when you get the call
That's
drop. and the call itself, so you can see what your sales team is doing right or wrong.
Because they're the only ones contacting those leads.
Exactly.
That's huge value.
What software do you use for this call?
For which one?
For
For like tracking
the
the
call.
call. So I use something called Congly.
calling.
Yeah. So for example, like the call, basically they go put their information in, and then it will direct it to whatever phone number,
Yeah.
their sales department or whatever. And then once it goes to that, it starts recording the call. And then it tells me when the lead came in, when they called it, how long did they wait to call it, if they followed up, if they didn't follow up, all that good stuff.
That's awesome. And do you ever, I mean, not that, you know, but do you ever, you might have two roofers, right?
Sure.
Replacing roofs. So
Yeah.
Do you ever,
Sometimes,
Means
so
that-
here's the thing, like when I focus on an area, like I like to work with one specific
Yeah.
person, but from the business perspective, they're not ready for the growth. So for example, if I get him 5 new roofs this month, he doesn't have
They
the
can't
team to
handle
hold
it.
it,
they got 10 guys.
Yeah. you know? So what happens is I'll go look for another roofer, and I know those people are ready to
And
go.
you got this list of.
So I just, there you go, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's kind of running a little late. Do you guys want to talk
Yeah,
about
sorry about
anything
that,
else?
guys.
No,
I
it's all
wanna-
good.
Man,
I
That was
wanna
that's
just
too
add
long.
one point.
Yeah.
You know, we all sell something, right? Some of us-
Everyone, yeah, you
Yeah.
got to sell it yourself sometimes,
yeah,
right?
So I
I'm
mean,
missing it.
when it comes down, I'm just trying to
It's
get
too cold.
when it comes down to it, man, something really worked with me is forget about the product, focus on the concept, right?
No,
because
no,
like
no,
if you,
no, it's not the concept. It's the
Yeah.
customer.
Yeah.
It's
You
just
think
the
so?
customer.
I think
100%.
It's the
no,
value.
in order to present
It's
it.
the value.
If
In
you're
order to
presenting,
present
once
it.
you're meeting with them, yeah.
No,
I
well,
guess.
like, all right. So, for example, I can't name out any products, but I know that there are some that were built for a certain reason, but have made massive amounts of money for another
a different reason,
for
right?
another reason.
What was it? You said pot?
Huh?
What was built?
A product. I can't.
product.
I can't give you a name of a specific product.
Oh,
but
okay, sure.
I
know
think
it's out
Slack, for example, Slack was built like as a communication tool for a startup,
there.
and then that ended up being a better product than
Posted
whatever they
or
were
Facebook,
doing.
right?
Yeah,
It's
so
sort of
if
like
you were to
Or
focus
posting,
on
yeah.
just the concept, I mean, if
Snapchat.
you were to focus on just the product,
That's
then
the
Slack
last
would be
release
sick.
back then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Whatever
that's
that's
what
what
it
it
is.
is.
That's temporary.
exactly. So I mean, focus on the problem, I guess. I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Well, see, that's the thing. I mean, don't look, because Facebook and Snapchat and all that stuff, the product that you have now is not the product that they started with. So it's a progression.
yeah.
You know, back then it started as a joke, like, hey, you know, I'm trying to make fun of
Actually.
this, yeah. But they saw the value in it, and that's when they built the
My
product around it.
point is that you know, you have a product, but if you focus on the concept, then you'll find other applications to your product that you might be able to expand your business with. Now, if you focus on your product alone, how are you going to add value to the client, right? With the product itself. Okay, I'm telling you about my product, but if I inform the client about the added value that product will have for them, it will be, I feel like there would be more.
Well, see, I feel like you're twisting it a little bit.
Yeah.
You're selling the steak and not the sizzle. You know, for example, you're selling. Let's say you're selling the phone. I'm telling you, oh, this is a great phone. So, this is a phone that you could talk to your family back at home in, you know, this place or this place. You can video chat. Hey, do you have your parents living with you? Yes or no?
No.
No. Do you like to see them and talk to them face to face
Yeah.
without being there? This phone you could do video chat with
They
them
don't
too.
care about the stats. They care about how they make them feel.
Exactly. You know?
That,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's the
So-
same thing. It's you're not
It's just the way you're positioned.
exactly. It's the way that you're packaging it. You know, packaging guy over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the way that
I like
you're
how we have one
packaging
guy we
it.
can point to
Yeah.
for everything now.
It's the way that you're packaging it more than anything. Like, for example, Saphir. Let's break it in a nutshell. Saphir just does dry cleaning. It's a dry cleaning company. Well, I mean, it's a dry cleaning company, but he saves the consumer time. He makes it easy. He makes it simple. He gives them perks that when they use this product, this is what they should
So instead of
expect.
stopping by and picking up their dry cleaning, they have more time to go see
Instead
their
of
family.
wasting an hour
Yeah.
going to the dry cleaning and then picking it back up when you're going home, we just saved you all this time and you're not even paying that much for
Go
it.
see little
I feel like
John.
this guy's gonna be everywhere.
Yeah.
This guy's good at marketing it.
Yeah.
That's
That's why we
true.
do
hold
our
on.
Facebook ads. We don't talk about like
Well, so remember,
quality
I was telling you
content,
that. Yeah.
We talk about. You think that's still a viable platform?
Spending more time
What?
with the
Facebook
family.
ads?
Like,
Oh, hell
Is
yeah.
it really? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
well,
Love.
Facebook ads?
I just don't know.
If anybody needs help
Very
with Facebook
ignorant
ads,
position.
This guy's the Facebook ads guy over here.
I'll have you hooked on it like crack cocaine.
What are you trying to say over
We'll
here?
talk to you right after the New Year's.
No, for sure, man. Let me know.
Hey,
No, bro.
if any
Just
of
do
you
it.
guys want really high quality professional headshots or photos, I have somebody coming into the office from pretty much anywhere and everywhere in the world. That's pretty much all he does, and he comes to LA and Houston to take photos. He does charge quite a bit, but you get
Awesome stuff.
100% like top quality stuff.
Good to know. Wait, what are you trying to say over here?
I think I might
It's actually for Hamper. So he's leaving.
Oh, he's going to the bathroom.
For the coach.
But no, like his thing is.
Dude, that's like every time I hear that story, I'm like, he's gonna be in that billionaire boys club that he was talking about for sure. That's a great idea, and they're already doing well with
You
it.
know, it's.
I'm just here
that's
fiddling
the-
with real estate deals. I'm like, damn
No,
it,
it's
this is
not
just
the-
But to be
4K.
honest, like,
It's not scalable.
don't. It is very
Real estate
scalable.
people.
Real
love
estate?
It's
this.
stupid scalable. What are you talking about?
Real estate?
You become an authority in that, and then you have people come give you their
That's
money to
true.
invest it for you.
You
How
create a real
scalable do you
estate
want it to be
agency.
more
That's
than
true.
that?
That's true. Yeah, you leverage other agents. That's true. But I'm very allured by like the digital products and affiliate marketing, like growing a YouTube channel, podcast, and then getting people to pay for stuff.
It's okay. You're
Everyone wants to be an influencer.
yeah.
I would want to be. Cristiano Ronaldo makes more money from being an influencer than.
Yeah.
In soccer, yeah.
So-
I mean, there are multiple streams, so
Don't focus on. Well, see, that's the thing. If you're gonna focus on like the
Smart.
podcast and all that stuff, focus on putting stuff that people want to watch.
that's the hard part. How do you figure that
Spend
out?
time. Well, I mean, if
Yeah,
you spend
spend time
time, and then if you twist it up, like a lot of the conversations that we have today,
Yeah, that
You know,
could be great content.
that could be
Right.
great
I
content for
was
you.
about to tell you.
Yeah,
I
see ya.
love- I love-
And I'm sure, like-
Great to night. Yeah. Thanks.
Good talk.
Yeah, good stuff.
Okay,
What's
one.
the next one?
I guess we can do another one in like 2 weeks. That might be Thanksgiving. Are you in the Facebook group? Ask him to invite you.
I'm trying to figure this out in conversation.
Yeah, we can meet up again.
How's China?
Yeah.
What do I sell?
I didn't go.
Oh,
Yeah.
deals
Which
are
is good to listen.
We were.
It's really live
So
stream.
I didn't go to.
So many ideas. Like someone might have figured something out that you're struggling with, and they've already did it a year ago.
Oh,
It's just like, I love the
There's actually
faster way to sell your cars. You
Yeah.
turn over inventory.
And I love that
Yeah, one
everyone
is
has
a-
different
Well,
industries,
eventually
so
we're
you
gonna
have
get there
different
one
We have a
perspectives,
database.
right?
If you
So
check it
it's
out,
not all like
it's like pretty straightforward.
digital marketers that are just talking Facebook ads.
No, I've got a lot of other
We have a lot of cars on there.
I might talk to them
We're
about
trying
it.
to sign up dealerships right now.
Yeah.
It's like whenever you
We're
start
gonna
a car,
do,
it goes to
we're gonna do
dealerships.
Chicago has-
Yeah,
They're kind of like, kind of right
Versus here, where there's like plenty of people who are haven't made money on a certain idea that are working on it.
You know, some people have made a lot of money.
Work together. There's a lot of these ones. One,
Man,
I have this list of
Right now,
numbers
that's
that I want to call.
For sure.
Pressure washing.